All right, the Golden State Warriors won. They're acting like they won the championship in a half-empty Chase Arena because they barely beat the Brooklyn Nets. That's where the Golden State Warriors are now. A meaningless win. We got the mailbag. I feel like that's more exciting than what we just watched. But welcome to the program. We're powered by FanDuel, and the program is called the Golden Days. Hey there.
Let's go.
Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz, your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at SurfJournalist. The program on both platforms, most importantly, at Golden Days Pod. We're brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Golden Days, and the Believe Network, which we're proudly a part of. And there currently is no line for the Warriors and the Wizards. Again, this is about as easy of a two-game stretch as you're going to get. And the fact that it took literally to the last second to beat the Nets at home. Rocco Clock. Go F yourself. You're banned. I made it very clear. Don't mention my name. Okay? Like, don't make me a part of the show. The chat is to talk Warriors, not to talk about me. Get the F out of here. And again, it's the most casual of pathetic fan who's going to be in a celebratory mood because you beat the Nets at home at the last second after losing most of the game. Don't act like, look, again, there are, I'm guessing, 5 different shows on right now. If you want cheerleader homer crap, go to the other ones. If you want analysis and honesty, you're in the right place. There's nothing celebratory about one of the worst teams in the NBA being your team, the Golden State Warriors. There's nothing celebratory about the entire issue with this team, the head coach talking today pregame like he's not going anywhere after this season. That really happened. That's not going to put me in a celebratory mode. Here's another D-bag in our chat. Again, keep my name and me out of the chat. It ain't complicated. And if you're asking yourself why, because you're distracting from what we're supposed to talk about. Jesus Christ, dude. Unbelievable. The Warriors trailed this game for nearly the entirety of it. There's one stat here that actually tracks how many minutes one team has a lead versus the other. And I need to pull that up. Because the fact the Warriors trailed for nearly the entire game. Yeah, so ESPN actually does keep that stat. They break it down into percentages. The Nets led this game 66% of the time. The Warriors led this game 23% of the time. That's what you want to celebrate? That they barely got a dub? If you didn't bet on the Warriors to hit 40 games or over, if you didn't bet on the Warriors period side, no, they were favored by 12.5 in this game, courtesy of FanDuel. What are you celebrating? Every other show out there is designed for you if you are that cheerleader type. I'm not judging if you wear a skirt. I'm not judging if you shake pom-poms. I'm judging if you're trying to communicate with me and pretend like meaningless victories like that mean something. It's ridiculous. MMM in the chat saying, good win considering the injuries. How is it a good win? You just hurt your draft positioning. What did you get out of this win? There's no bragging rights. There's no postseason you're fighting for. The only thing that is something good to aim for right now is a draft pick, a high lottery pick. Go to one of the other shows out there that is reeking of ignorance, reeking of, again, the cheerleader homer biased content you're looking for. Steve Kerr, my God, dude. I'm gonna play the sound tonight just because I'm gonna guess, and I think it's a safe guess, that he's gonna act like that this game was actually meaningful. He's gonna go probably raw, like, yeah, we played hard and we didn't give up. This team's got a will to fight. Just utter emptiness in terms of the words coming out of his mouth. It means nothing. Dude's a fraud. Sasha Jones in her chat adding that the Blazers also won tonight, maintaining it's either a game or 2 lead over the Warriors. I think it's just 1 in the loss column, but unbelievable, man. Like, again, I care about big picture shit. I care about what you can do with your team to result in success. A win tonight is the antithesis of that because you just hurt your draft positioning. And that's what you want to celebrate. Barber in the chat's asking, trying to be genuine apparently, saying, do you want to grow and get the chance to tell your point of view to thousands of more people? Or is the point to keep this as is? We're already telling the story to thousands of people. We are literally the most viewed and listened to program covering the Golden State Warriors. That includes legacy media. We're number 1. Do your research if you want. I don't know if the podcast numbers are public, but we're already number 1. And Barber, I will never sacrifice authenticity and honesty for fakeness. Ever. I'd rather the ship go down and I go down with it than start faking this shit so that the pathetic few who pretend like this was a game that was meaningful feel better. I hate the concept of a safe space drives me up the wall because it doesn't exist actually. All it means if you're looking for a safe space is you are a fragile human being. You're soft as F. Go work on yourself and learn to deal with the world around you instead of like just clamoring for safe spaces in life. No, so Barber, no. The formula for this program has always been keeping it real, and most importantly, being accurate with the analysis. Again, the truth sometimes hurts. The truth sometimes won't make you feel better about things. That's why, again, corporate media has you covered with the cheerleader content. Go shake your pom-poms there if that's what you're interested in. Paid chat. Clarence Beeks dropping $5 saying, tell these bastards to stop sleeping on Gui Santos. Gui Santos tonight. Is he our FanDuel player of the game? Let me look this up. Oh, easily, yeah. Gui Santos finishing the game tonight with a game-high 31 points, adds 3 rebounds and an assist, 2 steals, was part of the problem when it comes to turnovers. Had 5 of them, but the team collectively had a huge issue with that. The Warriors had 26 turnovers tonight. Abysmal. And again, Clarence Beeks, thank you for the donation. And friendly reminder for the few clowns out there who stupidly think that the Warriors were justified in trading Kuminga for Kristaps Porzingis, and the same fools who ignore half of the game of basketball, which is defense, literally half. Literally. I'm not exaggerating saying that. I'm not being hyperbolic. You spend half of a basketball court playing offense. You spend half of it playing defense, approximately. And people just always ignore the defensive side. I bring up the Kuminga thing because I literally just got some idiot trying to make a point to me on social media. I'll even call out the handle of this clown. The real Avilavish on Threads. The real Avilavish with the utterly backwards thinking statement of Kuminga only scored 2 points against us. You know what he held Gui Santos to? 0 points. 0. The same Gui Santos that scored 31 tonight. Kuminga's on a minute restriction, does not have full capacities health-wise, but his defense held the same Gui Santos that scored 31 tonight to 0. Gui had 2 points in that game because Kuminga didn't guard him the entire time. Nate Williams was the only other player Kuminga guarded that evening, and Nate dropped 2 points on him total. Sorry, 2 baskets on him total. Also committed a steal to him. Point is, again, man, there is a if there was any good news to take from tonight's game, is that Chase Center was half empty. The team was celebrating officially, this being the 600th consecutive sellout, dating back to 2012, as the Warriors dynasty started to emerge. But there were a lot of empty seats. I'll even show you one clear picture here. See, my dog's all riled up. He's like, what is with all these dumbasses in the world who just don't have a brain? I don't know. This is one of the difficult things to deal with living on planet Earth. I go raw discovery adding Podziemski still can't hit 30. Yeah, Podziemski has never hit the 30-point mark, finished with 22 tonight. Huge surprise, led the team in minutes. And 22 points for Brandon Podziemski. Not a bad game for him, but again, if he's like anything special, you would not be struggling to barely beat the Nets with by 3 points after trailing for 2/3 of the game. Paul 5566 Freak Show writing, Podziemski should be in MVP talks. What MVP talks? Do the Warriors give out their own MVP award? Because if you're insinuating that he carries these bums, carries them to what? Like one of the worst records in the NBA? Carries them to like barely hanging on and beating one of, I'd say safely, the second worst team in the NBA behind only the Washington Wizards, who are coming into town Friday. So that's what he should be getting accolades for, credit for? Come on, man. But yeah, Gui Santos, our FanDuel player of the game, 11 of 16 from the field, and maybe most impressively, 4 of 6 from deep. Bravo to you, Mr. Gui Santos. Gui. Love that kid. And good news is he's on the team for at least the next 2 years, making just $5 million a season. Chalk up a rare win for Mike Dunleavy Jr. So kudos to him. But I wanted to show you this picture real fast of Chase Center, because again, the difference that at least I'm noticing between the fans at Roracle and the fans at Chase, Oracle Arena, they'll boo your ass. They'll let their feelings be known because they actually have feelings, because they're actually human beings and not just rich wine and cheese robots with zero personality. But at Chase Center, if your team sucks, they just don't come. that is the bourgeois way of protesting. Apparently, we just won't come. We will go to one of our fine dining establishments here in San Francisco. We have amazing restaurants here. It is divine. I can't trouble myself with this basketball stuff. Honey, grab the kids. The chauffeur is waiting downstairs. Chenlina writing, did they win? Scoreboard-wise, yes. Tanking-wise, no. Yeah, Tingus Pingus, Abraham DeLeon, I respect you for writing that. Tingus Pingus had some fun moments tonight. This was one of the better games that Kristaps Porzingis has had since being with the Warriors. This 6 turnovers notwithstanding. Tingus Pingus, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, but he did have 6 turnovers. Porzingis has, for whatever reason, decided that taking like 30-foot 3-pointers is perfectly okay. I don't really get that either. He's a good 5+ feet behind the 3-point line. I don't remember that being a part of his game before, but now, because Steve Kerr is all about the 3-point chuck-in, Kristaps Porzingis, yeah, I'll heave it from 30. Tonight, he was 2 of 9 from beyond the arc, but he did have a respectable 17 points to go along with 5 rebounds, 2 assists. How did Porzingis not have any blocks? That's weird. No blocks. But again, the Warriors with 26 turnovers. How do you turn the ball over 26 times to the Brooklyn Nets? Brooklyn scored 28 points off those turnovers. The guilty parties, Gui Santos with 5, Draymond Green with 3, Kristaps Porzingis with 6, DeAnthony Melton with 4, Brandon Podziemski with 3, LJ Cryer with 2, Will Richard had 1, Pat Spencer had 2. Yeah, those are all of them. 26 turnovers for the Golden State Warriors. It's so funny. Like do the people who think, like, do folks think, like, when you come into the chat and just espouse ignorant hatred, like, is that therapy for you? Because if you think you're getting to me, you're not, other than just creating maybe some fun content, because it gives me an excuse to get all riled up. But if you think you're getting to me, that's a laugh. That's funny. And again, all you do is just is reveal your ignorance, and then I block you. So you don't even get a chance, if you have any decent opinions, and I highly doubt you do, but if you actually did have an opinion which bears merit, which has value, I can't see it. Because you're a dumbass who just thinks getting jabs in is productive. No, you're just a fool. Nobody ever puts a name to what they write either, because they're all just cowards. I will give someone credit, though. If you're watching this the other night, Will Hammond Jr. was in our chat claiming that he's willing to bet money on the Warriors making it out of not just the play-in, but the first round. And we actually made the bet. He emailed me today. And here's the lowdown of the wager. He was willing to do straight odds. I could not do that. I gave him plus 150. So if I win, it's $100 bet. If I win, I get an even 100. If Will wins, he gets 150. The Warriors have to beat their first round opponent, which almost certainly is going to be the OKC Thunder. And the one caveat is Stephen Curry has to play at least one regular season game. That's the one catch. The bet does not get triggered if Steph is out for the rest of the year. Side note, we still have no idea what's going on with Steph and Curry. The wise thing to do, in my humble opinion, and that is a strong opinion, is shut his ass down. Why risk something more serious? I'm dreading the Warriors doubling down and bringing this crap back next year. If that's what you're going to do, I want Steph healthy. I don't want him going all out, risking a severe catastrophic injury in the play-in, because if you injure yourself that late in the season, you're gone probably all of next year. Hamza writes, we ain't tanking. Well, Steve Kerr's not tanking. You can't like teams can't tank based on players, right? Like a tank job has to be effective based on coaches playing and not playing the right guys to hurt your chances of winning. And you're right, Steve Kerr is not playing that game because Steve Kerr is an obtuse fool. But doesn't mean I can't root for it. Doesn't mean that, I'm gonna hope for a lack of victories now so that the Warriors can hopefully start building for the future. I know, Ace 19, I feel you, man. Please don't bring back Steve Kerr, period. Let alone, like, the fact that he loves Brandon Podziemski like it's his child. Riz is saying it's too late to tank. Not necessarily. It's not too late to at least strive for the 11th worst record in the NBA. That's your best shot right now because Milwaukee, it's virtually impossible to go below them. If the season ended today, the Warriors would, without the factoring the lottery in, would have the 11th pick in the draft. And that looks like that's the best case scenario. My hope is, don't make it worst. Don't win so you suddenly now have the 12th worst. The percentages are a little different between 11 and 12. Never mind the fact that 11 is one better. Duh. But in terms of records, yeah, the Milwaukee, Chicago, Washington, Brooklyn, Indiana, they're going to finish with worse records than the Warriors. That's 5 right there. New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Utah, Sacramento. That makes 10. And the Warriors are 11. I just don't want the Warriors to lose 11. That's what I don't want. Not the 11th seed either, like Hobbs is writing here. Not the 11th seed in the West. I'm talking 11th overall in the NBA. If this makes you understand it more clearly, I hope they finish no better than 19th out of the 30 NBA teams. That is what I am hoping for. Not the 10th seed, best ever. 19th worst in the NBA from 1 through 30. Side note, congrats to some good news, not necessarily on the Warriors front, although I do think it's actually beneficial to the Warriors as well. Expansion's coming. And how that benefits the Warriors is, let's say for the sake of argument, the one team that gets shifted from the Western Conference to East is Minnesota. You're not only taking a good team out of the Western Conference, but expansion teams are ass the first year, 2, 3 years of existence, typically. I know I'm generally speaking here. But it softens a Western Conference that year after year is far more challenging for the Warriors than it would be if they were in the Eastern Conference. This will level the playing field, even if it's just a little bit. Great, I'll take it. And the NBA is going to expand to 32 teams. I think this is going to start either in 2028 or 2029. Just yesterday, George Karl, former head coach of the Golden State Warriors and the Seattle Supersonics, was on the show with me, and Rick Barry was on the show with me. That's 2 Hall of Famers on this show. Was stoked on that. And the timing was impeccable because, again, George has been an advocate for Seattle to get a franchise back, and it's going to happen. It's phenomenal news. I'm really elated for the people in Seattle to finally get their team back. I think a franchise in Vegas will be interesting. This also helps in terms of the rigor of travel for your Golden State Warriors. Instead of like 2 trips to Minnesota or Memphis or New Orleans, you cut one of those down to 1. And both Seattle and Vegas are close. This is all good news. Not just if you're an NBA fan, not just if you're a Warriors fan, also for those communities. It's just good stuff. Julian Bashir saying, I would love to see Brandon Podziemski in Vegas. I would just love to see Brandon Podziemski not get favorable treatment. That's it. Barber wants a team in Montreal. Unfortunately, Barber, I don't know if it's the French-speaking population. I don't know if it's the fact that the market, right? Like when you think of these professional teams, it's not just the city size and the city's population. It's the market, meaning the suburbs and all the towns and communities surrounding that city. Like what is the population total, including all of that? And then you have to factor in, are these people actually fans of sports? I guess what I'm trying to say is the fact that your city couldn't hold on to a Major League Baseball team does not bode well for an NBA franchise coming to Montreal. The fact that the NBA failed pretty spectacularly in a city that I consider one of the greatest in the world, Vancouver in British Columbia, doesn't bode well for a second team in Canada, at least not for now. But still, Vegas and Seattle. Congratulations. Other stats to bring up from tonight's game. Gui Santos, again, 31 points. Another paid donation here. This is from KKS, dropping $9.99, saying, let's go Gui Santos. What is Gui's nickname? Gui? Does he have another one? I just know him by Gui. Again, our FanDuel player of the game, shooting 4 of 6 from deep. That was huge. D'Anthony Melton, recovering from his 0-point outing 2 days ago, dropping 14, missed a very late free throw that almost served costly. Although that was a little karmic because I did not see a foul at all that sent Melton to the free throw line with just seconds remaining in this game. He finished tonight with 14 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 4 steals in this one. And again, that's one of many reasons why Melton is someone who I value far more than pretty much anyone else on the Warriors in terms of guards, because he plays defense too, effectively at that. The starters for the Warriors were really the primary driving force for a victory tonight. And this is, again, where net rating does help you in terms of understanding who contributed, who did not. Draymond Green, a +11. Kristaps Porzingis, a +11. D'Anthony Melton, a +16. Podziemski, a +19. And then, and those are all your positives. Gui Santos was a -6. GP2 was a -2. LJ Cryer had a bad game tonight, a -8. Omar Yurtseven, a -4, but he didn't play that much. Then Will Richard and Pat Spencer, -13, -9. But you could tell this was the starters basically keeping the team afloat tonight. Draymond Green, by the way, did he have another triple single? I think he did. Another triple single. I don't like seeing those from Dre. I also don't like seeing Dre celebrating after a win. The same guy who just most recently on his podcast was complaining that his Warriors are a perennial play-in team year after year, and he's celebrating out there tonight like they just want to birth into the playoffs or something. Like, dude, put things in perspective. You barely beat the Nets at home. That is not something you celebrate. It's almost like everything here is turned into amateur hour. You know, it's the nut jobs are running the asylum when we're talking about wins at home over the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are terrible. That is a garbage ass team. I would have given the Warriors some respect tonight if they had won by 20. If they had at the bare minimum covered the spread. They were favored by 12.5. To barely win by 3. So great. So you're not helping your draft position, and you're showing the world that you're barely good enough to beat a team that by every measure is just ass, just bottom of the barrel, garbage, a trash basketball team. And you beat them by 3 after trailing for 2/3 of the game. Sorry, there's just I don't see what you celebrate in a scenario like that. But yeah, Gui Santos had a great one. KKS again with the Warriors winning 109-106, they improved their record to 35-38. The Warriors, I broke this down at the start of yesterday's show. Again, that episode is available on YouTube, obviously on our channel. It was an early release for Golden Dazers. Thank you for your support. And then it got released publicly for everyone else. At the start of the show, and I'll quickly rehash it, I broke down what the 10 last games are for the Warriors. Now there's only 9. And of the 9 remaining games on the schedule, only 3 are against mediocre opposition. You've got Friday's game with the Wizards coming to town. And then you've got 2 games near the end of the season against the Sacramento Kings. The other 6, they're going to be challenges. And again, Paul556 Freak Show saying you can't trash Podziemski for the Hawks game and now stay quiet when he balls out. Why? Says who? You? Why are you making a rule like that? Podziemski played like shit in that Hawks game, with finishing with 5 points in a blowout loss. He routinely gets the most minutes, which means he's getting the most opportunities. When you're averaging something nearly 35 minutes a game, and you still can never hit the 30-point mark, I don't get what you're trying to say here. Panda Wise is writing that Paul is rage baiting. Then get the hell out of here, Paul. How about don't rage bait? How about don't be a dumbass? Try that. Get you far in life, dude. I think Paul's the same clown who was like invited onto the show the other day and just used that opportunity to write like 30 crazy ass messages to me in the private chat. And then 5 minutes later is like, wait, dude, can you send the link again? You out of your mind? Holmes in the chat's asking, what would make you more mad, a Podziemski extension or Steve Kerr returning? A Podziemski extension. That was an easy one, largely because if Steve Kerr comes back, which I am deathly afraid of, it's most likely just for one more year. Like his tenure seems to be connected directly to Stephen Curry's. You signed Podziemski to an extension. There ain't nobody trading for him. You're stuck with that. That salary is also like now part of your cap. 100%. The Podziemski extension would just disappoint me to no end. Shri is in her chat. Shri has my number, folks. If she wants to come on the show, she'll text me. Shri, hope you're doing well. I'll post a link in just a second. What I'm curious about, first of all, I was going to show you a picture. Sorry it took so long for me to do that. This is courtesy of Joseph Dykes on Twitter. And here's a picture of Chase Center tonight, just to show you how empty it was. And this was, let me real quickly see what part of the game this was. He published this at 7:18. Okay, so this was like mid first quarter. So usually the arena fills up a little more than this as the game progresses, but still, I mean, if we zoom in on this a little bit, a lot of empty seats. You notice like rows 1 through like 6 have a decent amount of people in them. So when you're watching this on TV, it looks like it's kind of full. But look at starting with like row 7 or 8 and up, and it's just emptiness. And Chase Center security is so tight. Like if you're an old school Bay Area-ite, Bay Area-on, how do you pronounce that? What is the proper nomenclature for a Bay Area-in? Bay Area-on? Bay Area-on? Anyways, you might remember A's games, Giants games at Candlestick, where as long as you bought a ticket up here, if there were empty seats down here, you could have the time of your life. Unfortunately, at Chase Center, that rule does not apply because, again, of heightened security and it's a rigid corporate environment. But that's a bad look. Good news is ownership notices all those empty seats. Bad look. Very bad look. And it begs the question. I mean, 600 straight sellouts. Will this team, let's say Steve Kerr comes back next year, and let's say they decide, let's just run it back another year. Yeah, we know Steph's going to turn 39 next season, but it's Steph, bro. And I'm impersonating Joe Lacob at this point. And I like Steve Kerr a lot. He's such a good guy. Let's just run it back. They make everybody feel so good, and they're so popular, and they're such great human beings. Let's just run it back. Steve Kerr's been to 6 NBA finals. He's won 4 championships. Well, if you run it back, there is a very strong possibility that sellout streak ends. Sharia, you're absolutely right. Shree's in her chat tonight writing, when you hit the pockets, change comes. Let's see if there's any sound from my one curiosity with the Warriors coaching staff, and more specifically, Steve Kerr, is how excited he's going to sound in tonight's postgame press conference. That is my one curiosity. Is he going to treat this like it means something, or is he going to be pragmatic and understand that tonight meant absolutely nothing? By the way, Gui Santos is 31 points tonight, a career high. Also worth noting, Gui Santos' career high is larger than what Brandon Podziemski's career high is. So what I'm hoping for is, if Pods is re-signed, it's for Gui Santos money. That's all he deserves. What the F is Fashion writes that radio station 95.7 The Game, they're all sellouts when it comes to Kerr. It's not just them. It's the whole media scene. They all think they're Steve Kerr's buddies. They're his pals. They just want to wrestle around with them. But truth is, a huge reason why I don't, me personally, I don't criticize 95.7 The Game all that much when it comes to their blatant homerism, is because they are media partners with the Golden State Warriors. Like they profit off the team. They are licensed to carry the games. They're in bed with them, literally. So it's a business. I get it. They're not trying to, and the sad thing is most people out there who listen to the station are not aware of this. So they listen to the propaganda, the pro Warriors takes, which almost none of it is rooted in any form of objective reality. It's just literally like, the Warriors are the best, bro. Like that's the whole adage. And so you're going to get this Homer level of content from 95.7 The Game. What are you going to do? Anyways, but if you want to come on the show, here's the link. Good news is I think I have 3 emails that came in just between now and the last show. So the mailbag's got some good content, and I rarely, if ever, screen these emails. I just take a really quick glance just to make sure that what's in it I should not be saying on the show. But yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Got an email from Dwayne Middleton, from Robert Marano, from one of our biggest supporters, Nick Fensky. Tracy McKendall, another Golden Dazer. She sent me an email, but not much to read. It was a story that it attributes Nick Wright of First Things First on FS1, saying that the Warriors dynasty is going to go out with a whimper and not a bang. He might be right. I mean, first of all, the dynasty is dead. It officially died. I mean, it's gone. But Tracy, I read your email. Thank you. I want to get right to this person just to see if they actually are willing to say anything. The handle is Kuminga is garbage. What makes Kuminga garbage? Why is Kuminga garbage to you? See, I give you a chance. You're given an opportunity to espouse your dumbass opinions, And then when I go to you, you're just not there. Let's go to Julian Bashir. How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Yeah, let's talk about something positive. Well, everything always leads to a negative, but you stole my thunder side because you didn't make the point until the very last end. But I was going to say that Gui Santos 31 points tonight, and Pods has never crossed the 30-point mark, and that means that he should not be asking for more than the Gui Santos contract. So we'll see how that plays out, and if Pods is extended for over $10 million, you know the jig was up, the fix was in. But I'll just say that because I did watch this game, and for those that are celebrating a win, I'm going to talk about something positive, but just understand that.
Why did you? Just out of curiosity, why did you watch? Like, if this wasn't my job, I would not be watching this right now.
Well, again,
no BS. The only reason I pay attention is so I can try and sound smart. I'm not saying I sound smart. I'm trying to sound smart. But if I don't watch, I can't even do that. Why do you watch? I'm curious. I really am curious, Julian.
I still have some attachments to this team, and
okay.
I think you're a smart person, Cyrus, and most of the smart Warriors fans understand the best thing for the future of this organization is to lose. And it's not to say, oh, hey, let's tank. But what irritates me is that Steve Kerr is actually coaching his ass off right now. He's screaming, he's running back and forth, trying to draw up plays.
Do you remember? I'm glad you said that. Like, the one visual that sticks out to me is that Warriors Hawks game, because the Warriors stayed in that game for the first half, and the Hawks just blew it open at the start of the third quarter, and it was over at that point. But the imagery of Steve Kerr being that emotional in that game, like acting more like a player than a coach. Yeah. There's only one thing that comes to mind when I see him doing that. It's just,
man, you corny.
It's just corny. Steve Kerr's just a cornball, dude. He's just
what
a
game
douche.
Was it that he screamed at Will Richard and embarrassed him on the court? What was that?
That was the Knicks
the ball
game.
Matters.
Square Garden. Yeah,
the ball matters. but yeah, you see that he's like sweating bullets and really trying to barely squeak out these wins. So again, so it's not like, hey, I want them to lose, but here's the worst case scenario, and those people don't understand it. The worst case scenario for the Warriors this year is to make the playoffs, because that means you're out of the lottery, you're going to get swept, and the only thing that it accomplishes is that you as a fan feel good about yourself. It's not doing anything for the long-term future of the team. And even with a win such as this, again, you say you're hurting your draft spot, because what if you fall from like 13 to 14 and that 13th pick ends up being a Hall of Fame level type of player? You understand?
Right.
So, but anyway, but I was going to say that even healthy with Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and Day'Ron Sharpe, that's his name. The Nets are a bad tanking, or
they're absolutely taking. And in case you're confused about what that means, it comes down to the coach.
Yeah.
And tanking is all about what a coach is doing to make sure that your team does not finish a game. Like the Utah Jazz, that's the greatest example. Like when you see their best players routinely getting benched in the fourth quarter of games. The last time the Warriors played the Jazz, Keontae George DNP'd in the fourth quarter, and somehow the Jazz got away with that. There was no explanation for it. That's tanking.
Yeah.
So if secretly Kerr's playing Podziemski because he's tanking too, forgive me. I owe a massive apology to Steve Kerr, but I'm also very confident that is not the case. So like he's playing them because he's trying to win these dumbass games, like because he's a dumbass. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
And I want to lay down that foundation. So a 3-point win against a Nets team. Who was that Israeli guy that jammed on Draymond Green? I've never heard his name before, but the only name I'm looking at is Nick Claxton and Zaire Williamson that I recognize.
Zaire Williamson, yeah.
You squeaked out a 3-point win against a injured tanking team. So that's something to think about. So all these numbers, I'm very surprised at the starting lineup. Their turnovers the last 2 games have been horrendous. Melton.
4 games.
What is Melton? 11 turnovers in 2 games, 6 by Kristaps, 5 by Gui. But to something positive, what I really wanted to say was that it is truly a shame that we've never got to see Gui Santos, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Will Richard, and others play heavy rotation minutes when it mattered, early in the season and late last season, because yourself and others have saying these players have something more. But we kept on getting Dennis Schroeder or other people that are not homegrown talent that we knew that are not good fits for this team, or those that like GP2, like, oh, my gut tells me that he should be good. Like, imagine if Gui Santos was getting all the GP2 minutes for the majority of this year, and imagine if Steve Kerr could have that conversation that he had with David Lee and even Andre Iguodala and tell Draymond Green, hey, you're still valuable, you're part of this team, but we believe it's best if you come off the bench. Because imagine Gui Santos at the power forward. Yeah, you're losing some defense, but you have better shooting and better passing, or around the same level of passing, but also Gui Santos. And people say I'm a Kuminga homer. For right now, Gui Santos' footwork is better than Kuminga. So I'm saying something negative about Kuminga and positive about Gui Santos.
Do you mean that?
Yeah, I do. No. It says footwork, not overall player. But Gui Santos' footwork in the paint and his craftiness is better than Jonathan Kuminga's.
And then how come he couldn't score a single point against Kuminga when he was defending him in that Atlanta game?
Oh, no, because Kuminga's a great defender. And so Gui Santos has good footwork against those that don't know how to play elite defense. Of those that don't understand, Kuminga is a 100 defensive rating on the Hawks right now, which is considered elite. Kuminga's a great
really?
defender.
I don't pay attention to the rating numbers, but is it really a perfect score right now for his defense?
Yeah, he's 100 defensive rating for the Hawks.
Impressive.
Right, so anything from 100 to 105 is considered elite. So Gui, but to those that are, that can be had, Gui's footwork is pretty nice. And I kind of wish that Kuminga would add some of those pivot.
And by the way, what's your message to this douchebag here, Paul Freak Show? Good handle. It's apropos because you're a freak. Saying that Kuminga's, in other words, you really are just a troll if you're going to focus on point totals and not end results. Yeah. Did Kuminga score 2 points in the game? Yeah, he was 1 of 9 shooting from the field. Did Podziemski score just 5 points in that same game despite playing more minutes? Yeah, and Pods is your guy.
Well, we also
Kuminga, for the other half of the court, the defensive half, was he absolutely elite there? Yes. It isn't just points, you dumb mother effer. It's also defense.
Well, I think this guy's definitely
that you idiots just always miss.
Yeah.
Jesus,
he's definitely a troll because he had a comment where he said that he still thinks that the Warriors could get to the 7th seed. And so once you see something,
who said that?
The same guy, Paul.
Dude, Paul, come on the show. Why are you being an asshole? Paul, why are you being a colossal? And when I say dick, I mean a tiny dick, because I know that's what you have. But why are you not just coming on the show? Like what? Like, are you like? How are you? Like, in what world do you get your rocks off just typing on a chat? Like, you're a demented human being if that's what you're getting your kicks on. Are you? I'm guessing you're what, 15, maybe 18. If you're an actual adult, that's really sad. But A, what does it matter how many points Kuminga scored in a game where they won? B, why do you ignore 50% of the game called defense, something Podziemski's not good at, something Kuminga is very good at? And C, if you call yourself a fan, I guess you're a fan of losing, which kind of makes you a loser, I guess, by default.
Do you mind if I chime in? So I think
I don't mind at all. Go ahead.
G4 just asked, what is Brandon Podziemski's defensive rating? So for the season, it's 115, which is considered below average or poor. Same thing with his true shooting percentage. But in the last 24 games without Steph Curry, his defensive rating is 119. So that's even poorer.
I don't, and again, I never look at defensive rating because it's one of those calculations that's highly subjective. And again, Stephen Curry led the NBA in defensive rating 3 years ago, something like that, among all guards. Remember Quinn Post at one point, I think was number 1 in the NBA back in December in defensive rating. It's such a subjective stat that does not tell a full story. What I always look at, like for example, if you go to the NBA and you have to do some really deep digging in their stats page, and that's where all the numbers are. And then you look at these other stats that create these formulas that some people listen to. They get the numbers for their formulas from the NBA's page, right? It's just nba.com/stats. Very simple. And if you go to that page, one thing you can look at to get a proper, accurate analysis of an individual's defense are matchups. That's how I found out how Kuminga's defense was against the Warriors. I went to nba.com/stats. I found Kuminga's matchup numbers, and he played 22 minutes in that game. He defended 2 guys total. He defended Gui Santos, and he defended Nate Williams. And it was about half and half. It was about 11 minutes each. And it's not even 11 minutes because Kuminga's on the offensive side of the ball half the time. So I can't remember what the minute total was, but it was about 50-50. Gui Santos held to 0. No points for Gui Santos, who besides that game is putting up 15, 20 points a night typically. And then Nate Williams, who had a great game. Who still, by the way, where did Nate Williams go? Like I saw someone mention he was in concussion protocol, but I never read that. I'm gonna Google him again real fast. Nate Williams dropped 19 points in that game, and only 5 of those 19 were with Kuminga defending him, because Williams had 1-3 and 1-2 on him, and that's it. Kuminga had an outstanding defensive night, but you have absolute morons. Just I don't know what other adjective to use here. Dipshit, dumbass. Mouth breather, like maybe I'll start calling them mouth breathers for a little bit. Like you have mouth breathers out there who go with 2 points, get 2 points. Yeah, in a win, which is all that matters. The only goal here is to win and lose. Yeah, Warriors are losers.
Yeah, I think that's the issue.
Away a player that would have easily been their best if he was on this team right now. Gave him away for a big stiff, and you're sitting here acting like somehow that. You know something that no one else does? Give me a break, man. It's utter stupidity. Breathe more with your nose, less with your mouth. Increase your IQ that way.
Yeah, and as you can see, like the starting lineup with all of their turnovers. Remember when Kuminga had that 1-5 turnover game that kind of led to him being benched, but you don't get the same kind of
it's hypocrisy, dude. Double standards. The Steve Kerr tenure at its finest. Yeah.
Melton had 7 turnovers last game, and then he comes back with 28 minutes. That would never happen with Kuminga. And I think the that stigma and that narrative, Kuminga is really trying to get over it. So and he is injured, but he's still very productive as far as a body and staying in front of people. But you don't see the kind of burst that we see on the offensive end that we're used to. But you can tell that he's playing very careful, and I think that he's trying not to lose as opposed to trying to be the reason why they win. And I think that the narrative, because, I'm pretty sure NBA players go online and they see this. One experiment you should do, Cy, like go on X and just type in Kuminga's name and go to the latest.
No, I see it all. I see
it
all.
Yeah, you'll see so many the type of things that people say are so disgusting.
Dude, right now, Hawks fans, what I hear more than anything else is Hawks fans telling me, like, dude, like, what is going on here where, like, if I write something about Kuminga, I get, like, 10 psychopath Warriors fans in my replies, like shitting on me. That's how pathetically low they are. Like, these people are literally going to other people's posts about, like, Hawks fans. People who should be happy and supporting their guy, and this section of the Warriors fan base, which is just demented. Same people, whether it's through lineage, DNA, maybe they were old enough back then. Same dipshits who once booed because the Warriors traded Monte Ellis instead of Stephen Curry. In other words, the same morons, mouth breathers, who once wanted Stephen Curry traded are the ones who are sitting here telling you that Kuminga is a shitty player. Don't listen to them. Unfortunately, this chat's open, and so we can still read your shit every now and again. You are pathetic human beings.
Well, what I see
Look at this right here. Paul Freak Show still typing, saying defense can't be quantified. Yes, it can. Let me remind you again. There are literal objective stats. You mouth-breathing dipshit. Use your nose to breathe, not your mouth. Increases your brain flow, the oxygen flow to your brain. Here's an idea for you. Learn what objective stats mean. Jonathan Kuminga objectively shut Gui Santos down, held him to 0 points. Objectively only allowed 2 buckets from Nate Williams. That's objective. These are quantifiable stats that are available, again, since you're not listening, because you're an absolute dumbass, on NBA.com/stats. Paul, I'm dangerously close to breaking my own rule of just banning you altogether because you are trolling and you're clearly not listening. You're just arguing for the sake of arguing. Keep it up. Like I'm just like it's become so toxic, this group of individuals that still exist out there. Like these are deranged lunatics. That includes you, Paul. Deranged. Like I would have surprised me if you're on very serious meds for like a bipolar disorder or some crazy thing like that. Would not shock me. But you guys are nut jobs, man. Like in what world do you go and harass Hawks fans for one of their players? Yet that's what you're doing. In what world are you in any way an intellect when you don't hear anything and every message goes in one ear out the other, and you can't even properly understand what a quantifiable statistic is? It's measured. Kuminga shut Gui Santos down, nearly shut Nate Williams down, was one of the best defensive players on the Warriors when he was here. And you're one of the idiots who was saying otherwise. And like the idiots always keep saying the same thing. You can't shoot. He can't defend. He can't handle. Dude, Kuminga's shooting over 50% from deep since he's been on the Atlanta Hawks. That's 8 games now. He's at 50%. And you're going to tell me he can't shoot? When he was with the Warriors, every time he played 30 minutes or more, his three-point percentage was above 41%. But he can't shoot? In Dreams is writing, he's just trolling you. I know, but it's also giving me a chance to also provide some great content of my own. See, I'm subtly, secretly loving all these absolute idiots, even though I have disdain for them simultaneously. It's a weird love-hate relationship. Julian, I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
No. I agree with what he said. I was going to mention because the last, not tonight's win, but the last win where I think I forgot who they played. But long story short, you go to the Atlanta Hawks Instagram. So it's just not Twitter. It's everywhere, really. YouTube, anytime. You go to Atlanta Hawks page, and when they're just posting their wins, that toxic fan base is in there saying, oh, he only scored 8 or 2 or whatever it may be. And they just can't help themselves. And, I replied back to the few. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you so concerned to hunt someone down?
It's trolling.
They're literally hunting someone down to say something. I don't know what they're getting out of it, but it is toxic, and that's why I kind of say that there's bad energy with this team, because I think not only I wrote something in your last video. I said kind of like the bad energy or demonic energy is like a radiation leak. You don't feel it, you don't notice it, but it affects the radius, and before you know it, people start coughing up blood. And that's and here's the thing, because I think choosing he has like, oh well, if energy is bad, or like whether you want to do spiritual, why isn't Kerr suffering? Those that create toxic environments never suffer from the toxic environment they created. So for example, if you're some kind of rich oligarch that created a nuclear power plant, and you're not living up to the standards to keep it from leaking, you think those rich people are inhaling the toxic fumes? No, it's affecting the crops, the environment, and the people around them. So that's kind of like the analogy. But there's another point I was going to make, kind of eluded me based on because we're talking so much about the Hawks, or Kuminga. But moving on from that, I just said that it's just a shame that we never saw the best of the Warriors because I do like Gui. I do like what I'm seeing from Gui, and he has. I think he has potential to be a rotational piece on this team. But you could have had like Butler and Gui and Kuminga and Moody. Like Butler could have been the defensive guy. I know you have to, but that's what teams do. They see like what is good and how do I build around it. They don't stick to a particular style of play and sit those that can do it. Like I've been saying for maybe 2 seasons, Gui Santos could be your point guard. And the way that I say that is because he's not Luka, but he's probably just as athletic as Luka. If Luka can play point, then why don't you? I know you have Curry, but maybe he could have been the backup point guard, and you could have put a defensive 2 guard next to him, a defensive 3, and groom Gui in that manner of being a point guard, and you might have had a 6'10" guy dropping because he's dropping dimes as a power forward and doing all the things right now.
Yeah, we've talked about that extensively. Not to mention, it's ironic that now we see Steve Kerr use him as a small forward when before the Kristaps Porzingis trade, he never used him as a small forward. You did have Al Horford on your roster, so you still could have used him or Kuminga in his natural position. Now we see it when he's exhausted nearly every other option. By the way, I saw a story here, and Julian, I want to get to other folks, so I want to get back to you. Just wrap up, please, if you don't mind. I just don't want to deprive everyone else of precious time, but Nate Williams was just a DNP. Was just a DNP for no good reason against the Mavericks, and to the best of my knowledge, tonight. What? Why? Why is Nate Williams? What did Nate Williams do? Did Nate Williams have the audacity to say out loud that he's good? Isn't that what happened with Quinndary Weatherspoon? Remember him? Two-way player who actually had some talent and skill, and he was the other two-way guy on the championship team besides Chris Chiozza. And if you folks have forgotten, after that season, at least I thought the plan was Quinndary Weatherspoon was going to be the guy that replaces GP2 as that 5 to 10 minute off the bench burst, a defensive minded guy. But apparently, because Quinndary Weatherspoon had the audacity to say in an interview, "I'm good enough to play," that was too strong of a message for Steve Kerr, and Kerr cut his ass. I always forget about that. Like Kerr has done so many rotten things. It's easy to lose track of just all the shitty things he does because they just pile up so quickly. That's another one. That's another ding on Kerr's ridiculous resume, and another example of why I call him an egomaniacal, obtuse schmuck. He literally cut a player because he publicly said he's good enough to play. He hadn't gotten a guaranteed spot on the team yet, and Steve Kerr took that as, "Oh, how dare he have the audacity to tell me who should be and shouldn't be on this roster," and cut his ass. Unreal, dude.
I didn't even know that story, but that sounds just like.
And Barbara's saying, "Where is he now? What team?" If I don't, he went international after that, and then I don't know where he's at now. But if you're insinuating that he's nowhere because he sucks and that's why he didn't get re-signed, do you realize how many players on this Warriors team who are playing now would be out of the league altogether if Steve Kerr didn't like them, if he wasn't playing favorites? GP2 out of the league.
Yeah.
Nowhere would you ever see him again. Brandon Pajemski out of the league. You would never see him again. There's a good there's a whole bunch of names on this team of players who you'd never see anywhere else. Pat Spencer out of the NBA, but Steve Kerr likes him. Gui Santos, I think, has done well enough where he'd be like the 14th man, I think, on another roster. But yeah, I would not use that as a criteria that Kerr was right, if that's where you're trying to get to with that.
Well, here's the thing: if you come,
I don't know where he's at now these days. Yeah.
Well, if you come to a situation where the coach is not developing you, and I know there's personal responsibility, but you can have all the personal responsibility onto yourself. But if you don't have the room to really build that reputation, and I look at Eric Pascal as an example. He came in his rookie season averaging 14 points per game, and I thought that he was really nice. But then he slowly started to be pushed aside. So by the time that he finally got on a new team, like he's out the league. Like Trace Jackson Davis, for example, he might be out the league soon because he's he wasted 3 years on the Warriors, and remember his
how's he do? We haven't talked about him in a long time. Remember his first game, he had a double-double.
He gets 3 minutes a game, nothing special. But remember his rookie season, he had that dunk on Wemby, and there was a stretch where he was a double machine. I think he even led the league in field goal percentage to start the season.
He led the Warriors. He did lead the Warriors in that stat. His rookie
he led the whole league for a while. Maybe
you might be right. I'm not pushing back, but I'm just saying, adding to that. Because I don't know for sure where he finished in the NBA, but I do know he led the Warriors in field goal percentage that one season. I'm looking at it you're right. In the month of March, his minute total. So basically, his first game with Toronto, he plays 16 minutes, puts up a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Ever since then, he's played in 8, 9, 10, 11 games, averaging 4.2 minutes per game. He played 10 minutes, 3 minutes. It says 0, so I'm guessing he came in at garbage time and played under 1 minute. That's otherwise he wouldn't even be listed. 3 minutes, 1 minute, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 minutes. So he's just not getting a run at all with the Raptors. Unfortunate. Yeah. What are you going to
do? So and he came in as an older rookie and not getting that chance. Last thing I'll say, because I just triggered my memory, I was going to say that the thing that Kuminga's doing on the Hawks is all the things that people said he couldn't do here, which is he's not a good rebounder, he's not playing defense, so he's sacrificing his offense to rebound and play defense. And now people are criticizing, well, why aren't you scoring 30? Because he's trying to win a game, and they're 9-0 with him when he plays. So that's what I think. I think it's more of a stick to the narrative. If you play winning basketball and say they win 2 playoff series, I think that's more important than trying to go out there and score 20. Because look at what's his name, Cam Thomas. He's got cut again because I know that there's politics, but his thing was I can score, and now he's he might be a veteran minimum player next year, not getting that big contract. So again, just don't listen to the narrative. If I was a Kuminga or a player, because you try to switch it up and become better, and people still not happy, and they're still stalking you and chasing you down. But hey, Cyrus, get to other people. Always great talking to you.
Always great, man. Have a good night, Julian. It was a pleasure. Daniel in our chat writing, did Kuminga shut Gui down? Why only 2 field goals attempted in that game? I don't know. Maybe because Gui had no space to put shots up. Here's Gui Santos' game log, just to give you some perspective for how Gui Santos has been doing and how his performance against the Hawks was drastically different than nearly every other team. In the month of March, just to give you some perspective, I'll start on March 5th, all right, when the Warriors were at the Houston Rockets. Here are Gui Santos's point totals, and then let me know which game you think was the one where he played the Hawks. 14, 22, 15, 17, 17, 20, 18, 13, 13, 2, 16, 31 tonight. Why did he only have 2 field goal attempts in that game? I don't know, because he got locked down. And if you actually watched the game, you would have seen that he was never comfortable, ever. There were no opportunities to put up points in that game. Kay in the chat writing that Gui take is extremely harsh and wrong. Oh, saying he's only good enough to be the 14th man is wrong. I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm just being realistic about things. Kay, if Gui Santos was on another NBA roster, he might only be a G League player. All right? Like it's like there's no way you can I don't know how you could assume that he'd be getting real minutes on another team. And I love Gui. I'm an advocate of Gui Santos. But I'm also just trying to be real about this. Like, he might be the 10th guy. I don't know. But on a real team, a contending team, no, he doesn't see many minutes. And I don't think that's necessarily a slight. I think that's just reality. Barber, joining us from Montreal. Parlez-vous français? Barber, stop typing and talk to me.
Do you hear me?
I hear you. Yes. How are you doing?
Okay, sorry. I'll tell you now why it does that. Every time I go on your live, then I change page and go somewhere else. But I don't know why when you like activate me or do anything to put me on, it then ask me again, do I allow my microphone to get the voice from me? So that's
probably because you're stepping away for so long that your computer,
something like that. So then I'm talking and I'm saying like I'm there. But
you're the only one that has that issue though. Everyone else is ready to go. But who cares? Barber, you're on with me now. What's on your mind?
A couple of things, but let's keep it like real straight to a couple of good points. We're all talking about like we're not all, but you guys are all talking about tanking. I would just like let's go straight to most of you people are saying that we won't draft good, we won't develop good, like Kerr is not doing a good job on that side. So it's like you wish we're gonna draft a good guy, but then we also wish he's gonna be developed good when you're all thinking it's probably gonna go bad. So it's like a mixed bag of like we want the best from this side, but we know they're gonna mess it up. So it's always a like mix, like I wouldn't know how to say it perfectly, but like just a mixed bag. So they're gonna draft bad, but we need a draft. There's no point in winning because we won't go for far enough. So like if you really tell me like what's your goal in like getting like what's the best now? 11 pick would be the best pick.
If you don't win the lottery, yes, it would be 11th. Now here's my pushback, because you're right. There are some people who are very skeptical of the Warriors front office in terms of their drafting prowess, right? Like they don't think the Warriors will know who to draft, and that the team's going to revert back to the days when they'd waste draft picks on guys like Trey Murphy, some random guy like Anthony Randolph, Donald Foyle, like guys who ultimately don't really make much of an impact, and they're here for a minute and they're out. Maybe Andres Biedrins would be a slightly more positive, even though he was a average at best player in the NBA. The reason why I still maintain aiming for the draft is clearly the smartest approach is because you could be the dumbest mother effer on the planet and you can't screw it up if you win the lottery. Meaning if you actually get a top 4 pick outside of Darren Peterson, who also might end up being a superstar, but he's the one I'm most skeptical about because he even admitted mentally he has issues, and that's why he missed so many games. I want nothing to do with that. That guy has Sacramento Kings written all over his chest. Have fun at our neighbor. But the other 3, Wilson, Boozer, DeBonsa, they are about as surefire as you can get. So if you win the lottery, the front office can't screw it up because the pick is made for them. Does that make sense?
That's an 8% chance of getting a top 4, like max 8%.
No. It's if they finish.
No, it's top. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I saw for the odds is if they finish top 10, it's they have 14% chance of getting a top 4 pick. I can look it up right now with 11, but 11 would be like 13%. It wasn't that much of a difference between 10 and 11. So even if you finish 11th, it's about 13%. So it's not horrible odds, and it's worth again reminding the Dallas Mavericks had 1% chance to get the top pick, and they got it. All I'm saying is I'd rather roll the dice on that than roll the dice on the plan.
Okay, but then I have one straight question, and then that could change the whole view of how you look at those things. Like, are you looking for? You'll probably be answering you're looking out for Golden State, but are you thinking for Stephen Curry next couple year or for the next 10 years of Golden
Barbara,
State?
I'm trying to be realistic about everything in life. Everything. Like pragmatism is my approach. Stephen Curry is 38 years old. I have zero hope that he's ever going to do anything again. I have zero hope that Stephen Curry will be the catalyst for a championship. Do you think otherwise? Like, do you think Stephen Curry at 39 next year can lead a team through 4 playoff rounds and win a championship?
Okay, well, one thing I think we have to stop.
It's a simple question.
Sure, but it's a simple question.
Yes.
But we need to stop changing the digit, because like when he was 37, he's 38 because it was in a month. Then he's 39. Like right now, my point is Steph is playing at a high level. If we want to talk injury, okay, we can go there. We can call Armando, whatever.
He hasn't played in 2 months, Barber. So
yeah, because I think he's no point in playing. I'm pretty sure he would be on the floor if the team was full of good player, running good, and like I think he's sitting because there's no point in him. Like we're 10th, the best we could be would be 9.
Good.
Yeah, but now I'll be saying, like, if you think about like, you're saying like, we can get chance like Dallas got lucky last year, or at best you said 13%. I saw 8.6.
I'll look it up again.
But no problem. Let's just meet in the middle. Let's say it's a 10%. So we
no. How about I look it up so we objectively know what the number is?
Perfect.
I'm looking it up right now. Go ahead. Keep talking though.
Okay. I was gonna say like then there's not a single player, even maybe sometimes the number 1 pick like a Cooper this year, but none of those players will help Steph or Green or anybody of those old good player. Maybe Green, it's not that good, but let's just say like none of those players will help Curry in the next whatever. He's gonna retire before they help him win anything. So at that point, it would be Steph is willing to stay on a losing team, develop young player, or he has to be traded. Like that's one or the other. Can
I ask you something, Barber, real fast? Simple question. Why do you still have Stephen Curry on your mind?
Because Steph is still playing at a high level. It's not like he's a bum on the bench.
You're right. He's not a bum on the bench, but he's a bum injured-wise.
No, but there's 27-year-old bum. There's 19-player bum.
You're right. Talent-wise, he's not. But Barber, you like again going back to the being pragmatic thing, being realistic thing. In what world is it realistic to think that a player at Steph's age can still do it?
Well, I think Steph can still do it.
Why?
Well, because his stats is showing, his play is showing us that he can still be the number 1 option.
He missed the playoffs last year when he pulled his hammy. This is what old guys
but again,
do.
We're talking injury.
Yes.
Yeah, but
because old players get injured consistently. That's why I have zero hope that Stephen Curry is going to be magically healthy and available for another run. I don't know why you think otherwise. That's where I guess you and I are at a colossal.
Okay, so you're saying right now that if Steph, and I'm not even saying that, but you would be saying that if Steph sits, no, but if Steph sits the whole year, like whatever times he sits, he's done. He's not going to be healthy for another playoff in his life. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying don't count on it. I'm saying if it actually happens, that is a bonus.
Okay,
what I'm saying is a smart approach to the future is to plan for a future without Steph. And if Steph is available, that's awesome.
So that, to me, we need to trade him up right now, right?
Say again?
Then we need to trade him up right now. Like, he shouldn't be here.
But again, if he doesn't want to leave, my feeling is you can keep him and rebuild. Like, why can't you do that?
Well, that would be on him. If he wants to stay on a team that's doing nothing and going nowhere. I mean, like you guys are saying like
now.
The what?
Like what we're literally seeing right now. Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But the fact is, like, I'll be honest, it's been like almost maybe 3 months or something like that. Like after this, from December, I started joining your podcast. I like the way you exchange with people and things like that.
Thank you.
So I kind of stick for that reason. But I'll be honest, it's a hard time for a guy like me to stick with my point of view. But it's all good because it's your podcast.
Well, I mean, again, look, Barber. Bottom line is, I'm just trying to be realistic here. I love Steph. I'm gonna guess you and I love him equally. Like we both think of him as one of the all-time greats. What pisses me off about Steve Kerr more than anything else is I feel like he held Steph down and underachieved. Like Steph should have a minimum of 5 championships right now. He should. That's what I believe. But he doesn't, and I blame Steve Kerr for that because Steve Kerr is very picky about who to surround Steph with instead of focusing on surrounding him with the best talent. Like Steve, and this is where Steve Kerr's ego kicks in, where how dare you actually?
But let's say we're not going back then. Let's say we're sticking to now, okay? Because let's say so you said it's done for Steph, whatever option he has around him, he cannot be the number 1 player on a winning team no more, on a contender team, right? Like he cannot be the first.
I'm saying you can't. I'm saying you can't count on it. I'm saying it would be foolish to think that he. In other words, I don't think he's dependable anymore. That's what I think, and I don't think any player at that age is dependable.
Yeah, but I think this will change the more we move on. We'll see, we see more and more of those guys. There'll be one player that's going to do it. Like there's a LeBron James right now who's, this year, it's like his first year really showing a bit of old age.
Who besides LeBron? Barber.
No, but that's true. That's just one. But we're counting on just.
But that's important because who else besides LeBron is still performing
right now
at Hall of Fame
38
level at
years old? Steph would be the second one at 38 years.
But again, there's a difference. So LeBron is a 6'8" Mack truck, an athletic freak of nature.
But Steph doesn't need that.
It makes sense that he's still playing at 41. Stephen Curry is a 6'2" guy who defies nearly every rhyme or reason to be doing what he's doing, and he does it almost entirely because of his incredible shooting and his athleticism with speed.
But imagine
and this is where the thing is a real problem.
Like any contending team right now, let's say Wanyama, he's not alone. He has a whole team. OKC, that's a whole team.
Yeah.
We're putting everything on Steph, but if Steph had an option 2, option 3, even just have a good like a 6-man of the year contender, like someone that can be a 6-man of the year, any of those guys around him, he has literally a G League team around him. And I'm pretty sure, because the main thing is we were talking about that team the same way we're talking about them right now, back when Jimmy was still there. And you guys were all saying we were the 8th seed. Yeah, there was a difference of 2 games between the 8th and the 3rd spot. And last year, if you want to talk, we talk a lot of Atlanta. Atlanta's good. They won their last 11 of 12 against all shitty teams. But when it goes to Golden State, our run from last year was against bad team. Other team, you guys are seeing the opposite. Oh, we don't talk about the fact it's they're able to win in key moments.
But
they still have good.
These are Barber. Atlanta and the Warriors are 2 night and day different scenarios. Atlanta's a young team with a bright future. There's a million reasons to be excited about them. Not to mention the expectations for them this year are not championship. Maybe next year, 2-3 years from now. The Warriors, what are you looking forward to there? And
I'm only looking for one thing.
Let me finish. Barber, let me finish. And the point about Steph surrounding him with G Leaguers, and what you're saying that you should surround Steph, and if Steph, I think what I'm hearing from you is if you surround Steph with real talent, you have a shot. The problem is, how are you going to do that? How, Barber, let me finish. How are you going to do that? How?
Everybody's going to go on fire and hate me for that, but I would trade those picks.
For who?
Yeah, that's the thing now. I don't know exactly who's going to give you what, but when you're ready to give 4 first-round picks for maybe 2 guys, 2 good guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think I haven't done my research to see who the Warriors can trade these picks for that could give Steph a shot?
Well, before the draft, the deadline of trading, there was a couple, if we could have got Murphy and Jones from Pelicans for...
They didn't want to trade them.
Yeah, exactly. But that...
And what makes you think what makes you think that's going to change? B, what makes you think Trey Murphy's enough? He's not enough to win a championship.
No,
Trey
he's
Murphy
not enough.
Relevant, but he's not enough for a championship. What you need is a Giannis. Giannis doesn't want to come here.
Well, we don't know. Like,
Yes, I know. I do. Yes, I do, Barber. I don't.
Okay, you don't need to scream.
Don't question my credibility, Barber. If I sit here and tell you I know something for a fact, just trust me, because I've never given you or anyone else a reason not to, ever.
Well, I've not been here enough long to say.
Barber, don't be disrespectful, man. People are not here to listen to you. All right. So don't cut me off.
Now
please.
you see again.
Don't cut me off. You're cutting me off like okay, Barber.
Okay, talk.
God damn it, dude.
Talk.
Is this how you have conversations with people in life?
Wow,
like they speak for 2 seconds and you just jump in every time talking over them?
Okay, I'm not sure if you see how like a conversation on a cell phone. Like, I don't see your face.
Any conversation, a bar with friends on a phone, yes.
Yeah, but it's 2 second behind on the picture on the TV. So on my phone, I'm waiting for you to talk. Then you maybe don't talk. I go anyway. We're not going to argue about that. So say what you have to say. If it's your show. So go ahead. So what were you saying? I'm not insulting your knowledge.
I'll say it again, Barber. There is nothing out there that the Warriors can trade for which will magically be the complementary piece to Stephen Curry that you desperately want. That option does not exist. Okay,
so you think there's no one in the league willing to make any kind of trade? Well, for next first round pick. There's nothing to be done to help.
Not for the player that you're looking for, a guy that you think will help carry Stephen Curry to a 5th championship. No.
Okay.
God damn it! Just let me finish. The last shot they had was Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
swing and miss. It's over. Where you and I think are very different is you just want to keep swinging, despite the fact that Steph Curry's going to be 39 next year.
2022 was
it's over. Swing. It's over, man. This is done. Steph is an old man. Okay, his body is breaking down. Why do you think he's going to magically hold up? This is 2 years in a row now.
Again, if you're going that way, it's simple. It's a business. They don't have to do anything for Steph. Trade him. You're going to still get some from team like San Antonio Spurs going to give you some for Steph. There's team out there. They're willing to give something good for Steph for 2 years of Steph shooting threes.
Then do that.
Why would the front office just move on and do that?
They should. Because they're idiots. Because they should do that. You're right. Like, I've never been a subscriber in holding on to an asset that ages into mediocrity. I've never been a supporter of that. And I don't want the Warriors to do that.
I see a top 10 scorer right now. I see
when he plays
the health problem, but I don't see. Well, what? You see, I was talking. I didn't hear you talk. Go, tell me. I didn't hear you.
Because you said you keep saying Steph's like this elite player. He's
he's still this elite player. Make a poll.
Saying, Barber, he's not playing.
Okay, so for you,
this shit?
I don't want to put him on the spot because he doesn't. But you saw Julian's list of 17 player that's better than Steph right now.
Steph isn't playing, so they're all better than him right now.
Okay, then come on, man. Like, we're all talking about Wanyama as the best player in the league, but we're also saying in the same sentence that he could be done next week. Like, he's the most fragile and next MVP. Like,
who said that? Who's saying Wembanyama is too fragile? I'm not saying that.
Okay, come on. That's like a big narrative anywhere. Like, I'm not saying him.
I don't care about narratives. I am not a narrative guy. I am a trying to be realistic guy. Stephen Curry, who you keep bringing up as this elite player, does not play anymore because he's always injured. So why do you keep holding on to this like false hope?
He's not always injured, like you're saying. There's so many players that are really always injured. Like, he's more of like that thing he has right now. He would have been playing if it wasn't for the team playing that bad. I mean, he's just sitting there because there's no point. What?
Who are you talking about that is always sitting there?
I mean, your guys are talking about the Clippers right now that are playing better than us when they're counting on the most fucking injured worst player in history about injury. Like,
can I respond to that?
Clippers,
can I respond to that? Let me respond to that. The Clippers don't have draft picks. They're screwed.
Yeah, even worse.
You're right. The Warriors do have draft picks.
But you guys are talking about the Clippers in a better way now.
I'm not. What am I saying that?
Well,
Dude, don't project onto me. I never said that. I mean,
99% of the. Okay,
I'm trying to be realistic, Barber. You're sitting here constantly putting hope in a 38-year-old, pretending that as the guy gets older, he's going to magically get healthy. Like that is not how life works, Barber. That's not how life works. We get old, our bodies break down.
Okay,
we don't get old and just stay healthy.
Who was second option? Wigan?
What?
2022. Second option was Wigan, right?
Why does that matter? That's irrelevant.
Why?
Because Steph was 34 then.
Oh, okay. You make such a big, like 34. Yeah, but he's still playing like he was. Like there's no big difference. When he's on the court, he's never on the court. Barber, can we just agree to disagree that you think Stephen Curry has some magic beans he could eat to be healthy? And I'm going to sit here and tell you old athletes break down and they don't get magically healthier. Okay, if you want to agree to disagree on that part,
yes,
then we should stop arguing on the chat about what they should do. They should trade Steph and let's stop talking about anything other than that because there's nothing.
But life is complicated. Like Stephen Curry, if anybody has earned the grace to stay on, not to mention he's under contract next year for $60 million.
So he earned the grace to stay and ask for a better player.
Well, he could ask for that, but good luck.
Well, they're trying. I think they're doing what he wants. I think they're really trying to get anything. I never saw a team more willing to try to get anybody than Golden State.
And what I keep saying is time to move on from that.
Yeah, but don't you think it would be easy to say that in 2 years? He's going to be done. So just push it for another 2-3 years, and you'll get all the tanking, all the drafts.
Sorry. I thought we agreed to disagree, not to pretend that Steph can magically stay healthy for another 2-3.
Well, you're going to go even more crazy if I'm telling you that even if Jimmy, Steph, and even if LeBron gets here at 42, I would pick those three guys against anybody in the playoff.
Look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. To me, the best case scenario for next year is tank now, get the best pick possible. And then if you can convince LeBron to come here and have a farewell tour where Steph and LeBron do this show together, great. And you also have this young piece developing underneath them, great.
But
that to me is best case scenario.
Is not a shitty like I played. Okay, that's not the same sport, but I play hockey all my life. You would ask me to tank, I'll tell you, not you personally, I would tell anybody to fuck off.
Look, Rick Barry was on this show a couple weeks ago, and I asked him the same question. And I asked him twice. I said, would you tank as a player?
Impossible.
And would you tank as an executive? And he repeated what you said. As a player, of course not. Every player is going to give the same answer. Hell no, I'm going to play to win.
Yeah.
But then he said, if I was an owner, makes sense.
Okay, but
because
the owner,
that's how the rules are spelled out. The rules of the game right now, they might change these rules. So, which is another reason why I want the Warriors to take advantage of this now, while the rules are in place for teams to tank. Take advantage of it. Don't be the dumbass who is not taking advantage of the rules. Tank, get the best.
If it would be for a top 3 pick, yes. But an 11 pick, like last time I checked, the last 15 years, the best 10th overall pick was CJ McCollum. Nice player. But that's the best in 15 years, being picked 10th.
No, I don't. Where are you getting that?
6 first of those are not in the league no more.
You mean the exact pick at 10?
Yeah, exact pick.
Well, that doesn't matter. Every year is different. That means nothing. That previous
15 years. 15 years.
But that still doesn't
10.
matter. But that's like saying if you flip a coin 14 straight times, the 15th time it's automatically going to be that. No, it's not. That means absolutely nothing. What? Not to mention
exactly. That doesn't mean nothing. So we're going to still get shit.
But you might win the lottery and get a top 3 or 4 pick. If you don't tank, you're hurting your chances of even doing that.
Okay, and then let's say one other thing then. Is for you, because you say you've been a Golden State Warrior fan for a long time. I don't know exactly
40 plus years, yes.
Okay, so I think you're in mid-40s. Maybe I don't know.
I'm approaching my late 40s. Yes, I'm getting old.
Okay, so you're a good-looking man. Keep
going. Thank you, brother.
but I was just going to say, like, back then to win a first-round series with the Golden State Warriors was a good thing. It looks like now.
Okay. No, I hear what you're saying. Okay, finish your thought, and I'll answer that. Go ahead.
No, but I was just going to say, like, I'll take the 1% chance, 2% chance you say of us maybe doing a Dallas draft pick of last year, like doing something similar. I'll take the odds of Stephen Curry giving us first round and maybe even second round win before I'll take the 1-2% odds of a ball dropping for me.
You know what the difference is between that and this? Those teams that were pulling off those upsets or who we get excited for, those were happening in the middle of just dark, depressing, horrible years. So very rarely were good things happening. And when it did, we'd celebrate it. More recently, the We Believe teams were a good example of that.
Yeah.
And B, they were doing that with young players. So there's a reason to be anticipating a future in those scenarios, right? Like whether it's with Chris Webber's Warriors, you're like, whoa,
yeah.
Chris Webber, he's a rookie. Latrell Sprewell was in his early mid-20s, and they're doing this now. Oh my God, we're getting excited for what's to come.
Yeah, so you think
Tim Hardaway was like in his second year. Mitch Richmond was in his third year. Chris Mullen still in his 20s. They're young. This is the start of something big. You can get excited about that. Stephen Curry at 38?
Well, in 20 years, we'll watch documentary about Stephen Curry like we watch a bit. I'm not saying he's Jordan at all, but it's going to be a close to something like that. And we're going to say, you know what? At 38, he won the first round against Houston last year. The next year...
Agree to disagree.
Well,
I don't look at last year as a success. Do you think last year was a success?
Well, yes, it was, because of injury, we didn't went to the Western Conference Final.
Again, this is where you and I also will agree to disagree. Okay, to me, it was a disappointment because had Steve Kerr played Kuminga from the start, they're a champion.
Okay, you see, that's another thing.
Second round out.
That's a good thing you just said that. I love Kuminga. I wish we would have kept Kuminga. I wish Pods was gone. But you know damn well that on this podcast, Kerr, Pods, and I don't know, there's another third thing that sometimes I laugh by myself, that it all goes together. I don't love Kerr. I just respect what the guy did for us. Like you said, most of the coach are not that important.
What do you think he actually? Because here's my take on Kerr. The first 5 years.
Let's not talk too much Kerr, but yeah, go ahead.
We can. The first 5 years, when that incredible run, his first 5 years, they made 5 straight NBA Finals. The entire time, I kept thinking, when is this guy going to get challenged so we can actually see what kind of coach he is? I don't know if you thought that. I thought that because those teams were so stacked. Like nobody was surprised that they were making it to the finals every year, except for the first.
Yeah, but it shouldn't go against him. Like it's not his fault if the team's good. Like no, but it is. But you know what I mean. Like we're not going to put it against him.
My point is, he didn't prove shit those first 5 years. Those teams were so effing stacked. Like any coach could have come in and just sat back and watched those guys just ring up championships and stuff. I'm focused much more on what he's been doing these last 7 years, and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all because these rosters are not stacked, and we're seeing with our very eyes what type of player he likes, the lack of innovation, adaptation, evolution. There's nothing changing. He just runs the same shit out there year after year and doesn't communicate with his players. He's not a good evaluator of talent. If he was, his stint as GM of the Suns would have never failed. And I'm tired. By the way, I did find the current NBA draft odds that includes top 4. And this is courtesy of a website called Fansided. And I think this is from last year, but it gives us an idea as to what to anticipate for draft odds. So, and this might be current. Yeah, because the Warriors are in here. Look at the odds here, right? So number 1 is this far right column right here. Okay. And I'll zoom into this a little more. And I'm guessing this story was published some weeks back because this story has the Warriors as the 13th seed. They're now 11. So the right column is for number 1. The middle column is for top 4. Okay. Yeah. So the odds for number 1 shrink drastically as you go down. So number 11, for example, this is where the Warriors are right now. The odds to get the number 1 pick, just 2%. To get top 4, however, it jumps up to 9.4%. If they were top 10, that number jumps up to 13.9%. If they were top 9, you have a 20% chance. Do you not see why I want to tank? If it was just the number one pick, I wouldn't care as much. But
yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying because you this draft is so deep that top 4 gets you almost a guaranteed high-end talent that you could build on. I sure as shit want to finish as bottom as possible.
But did you guys watch that much of those guys? I'm not saying I'm a genius with those young guys, but not every year, but like I'd say it's more 1 out of 5 years that we say that's a really bad draft. But most of the time, there's at least 2 really, really hyped up good players, sometimes 3. And this year, yes, they're saying deep. I don't see superstar deep. I see deep as good, like 3rd option, 4th option. I don't see like a number 1 like option on, like, I mean, all these guys, Zion Williamson, Joel Embiid. We can name so many great superstars that just don't even live up to anything they were supposed to do. And now we're fucking sorry, but we're aiming at a great 11th pick that will change the whole trajectory of the Golden State Warriors. When we can have, maybe I see it differently, but I'm like, I want some good time for what's left of Steph Curry, and then you can blow the whole thing up. Because why go so hard on doing it right now when we
both want the same things? Here's the problem. You can't, what's best for Steph is not going to be acquired via free agency or trade. That's why I look at this as the best option. I also look, I'm not an expert on the college basketball game just because I don't observe it enough. Yeah. But there is way too much overwhelming consensus that top 4, and some are saying top 10, you're going to get a quality guy. This is a very rare draft where it's that deep.
You're probably the number 1 podcast that would tell me to go away from big consensus and big percentage odds, because you guys are the 5% that are going against everything.
But Barbara, what else am I going to do? Because because
that's great.
All I can do is listen to the folks who actually are putting the time into researching for mock drafts and stuff. Kristen Peak, who I trust, I would trust her. I was going to say with my life, but this is basketball.
Yeah, I get it.
I trust her with like more than anyone else by far. And all she's told me is like top. It's never been this deep. Top 4. Like top 4 seems like there's been nothing like this in recent history. Where
but we won't touch that. So let's not focus on that.
How do you know that? How do you know?
Okay, but that's when I say to you, okay, so what did you say the percentage? If we get 11, the percentage of getting a top 4 was
9.4%.
Okay, so a 10% chance. So one
out of 10. That's not awful. And then if you can find a way to, and this is again why to me Steve Kerr drives me crazy, because if he actually cared about this shit, he doesn't care about the future at all. But if he did, he'd see that how much the odds jump. So if you finish with the 11th worst record, you have a 9.4% chance of getting a top 4 pick. If you have the 10th worst record, you have 13.9%. 9th worst record, and this is really scary because the OKC Thunder have that pick right now, apparently, 20%. This is why I personally would take, and why I want them to not, because let's say the Warriors catch up to Portland, you're going the other way now. Now it drops if you finish 12th, the odds drop to 7.1%, 13th 4.8, 14th 2.4. And the Mavericks, by the way, were 14th. They had a 0.5% chance to get the top pick, and they did. All I'm saying is just give me hope. What else do we have besides hope? And in terms of Steph, there is no other way to get him help.
Okay, so you have more hope.
There's no other way.
So you have more hope in draft in the 11th position than Curry being healthy for playoff time.
Well, I'm saying why can't you focus on both?
Well, because we can't do both. We can't win in the playoff and get a good percentage in the draft.
They're not tanking. They're going to be in the play-in regardless.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to finish 10th.
I'm saying don't win those play-ins. Like don't, because here's the thing: if you win those 2 play-in games, you're not in the lottery anymore.
Yeah, that's so we're dropping from a pick that would be like 15 to 20.
No, you'd be going from, let's say the Warriors stay put and they go into the postseason as a play-in team. Stephen Curry magically comes back, and you win those 2 play-in games.
Yeah, and let's say we lose first round.
Your reward is first round OKC. You also, your draft pick drops from 11 to 15.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want that. I don't think.
Let's be honest. The year we took Moody and Kuminga, which I know now Kuminga, everybody's all on him like the next best thing. And he's a good player.
I never said that, for the record.
No. But
all I said
the
was
15, 16, 17 player were like better than our 2 drafts from the 7 and the 14. Well, let's not argue with Kuminga. Maybe he's better. But I mean, what is it? It's JJ. It's I just said it. The guy from Pelicans. He's in the same year, right? Murphy was like
Trey Murphy.
16.
He was the same year, yeah. He was like a 17th pick, 18th pick.
Yeah, exactly. And JJ was like 15, 16. They're all
here's
in
the
that.
problem. You hear all the skeptics about the front office and the draft pick and having no faith in them making the right pick. I agree with them if this pick falls into the mid first round, because now you actually need talent in terms of evaluation to draft a diamond in the rough, right? So you in other words, you need skill to draft someone good in the mid part of the draft. If you get a top 4 pick, you could be dumb as rocks and you're still going to get someone talented. That's why I want that top 4 pick very bad.
All right.
But
I think we have to see more bust in the top 10. I'm not perfect on that line. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's like top 10, they're looking for talent, upside, ceiling, and then a bit further, we're looking for less maybe of talent, but more of a solid, like maybe role player that for sure is going to make it. It's not always like that, but we see so many top 10 players just bust and just end up on the bench. There are no guarantees
in life. You're right. Again, I play the probability game, and there's 3 ways to improve your team: free agency, trade, draft. I already looked at, we've done, and I'll do it again. I'll do a show in the near future again on who the free agents are this offseason. But newsflash, no secret, it's empty. The cupboard is bare.
It's next year.
This is not a good free agency. Not to mention the Warriors will only have a mid-level exception to spend money on because Steph, Jimmy, and Dre's contracts are still on the books. You also have Moses Moody's $14 million. So no matter what, all you're going to have to use is a mid-level exception, right? Which is going to be about $15 million. And I don't know who you can get with that. And we can do a show in the near future, but you're not going to get someone that's a game changer. You're usually ending up getting role players with that kind of money. Maybe you'll get someone, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to magically help Steph become a champion again. So it's either free agency, it's trade. And if you go the trade route, the only asset the Warriors have to trade are those future firsts, and they're worth a shitload. Exactly. And you wanted to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis did not want to come here. This summer, you're going to have much more competition for him if he decides to leave Milwaukee. I read a report today that now the Rockets are going to be in the mix for him this summer, and he doesn't want to come to the Warriors, man. That's another thing, another reason why I'm so down on Kerr. Nobody wants to come here.
But I don't think it has anything to do with Kerr. If somebody wants to play with Steph, he wants to play with Steph. I don't think he gets so over like, oh, I don't want to go with Kerr.
Name one guy who do that, but name one player who do that.
Well, I mean, we got KD when nobody would have even say his name.
Then he ran away.
Yeah, after winning 2 chips. They can all run away after 2 chips if they want to. Like, I'll be happy. Run. Give me 2 chips and then run.
But Barber, do you not realize that all these other players are looking at Steph differently than in 2017? In 2017, the Warriors were coming off a 73-win season. Steph was at the peak of his powers. Now you're talking about a 38 going on 39-year-old Stephen Curry and a team full of G Leaguers, a Jimmy Butler that won't be back till probably late next season. In what world would a free agent want to come here? This is no longer a desire. It never was desirable to begin with. The Kevin Durant thing worked out because of ring chasing. That is not a thing anymore. This has never been a free agent destination. I'm playing the probability game and trying to figure out what's best for the Warriors moving forward. And to me, it's no contest. If you're trying to present like odds of success for which avenue to go down to improve your team. If you draft someone that's actually really good, that's 15 years of your future you're locking down. I mean, you don't seem to think about that. I do. Like I'm thinking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm always thinking like that. Steve Kerr never does, clearly. But Steph is 38 going on 39, man.
Is the Olympic that far for you, is the Olympic that far? That's
what pick?
year?
Which pick?
Yeah, the Olympics. Was that too far from you? Like, I saw the whole NBA, the whole USA team just be on. I give the ball to Steph. Steph is the number one option right here.
32 years ago. I mean, it's times change, man. And
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. And just because Steph did that in the Olympics doesn't mean players suddenly want to come here. There are two different things, man. I'm sitting here telling you, Stephen Curry is not. If Stephen Curry was enough, Giannis would be a Warrior right now. But he's not.
You see, I'm not going to argue that because you told me you know for a fact. So I'll let you know for a fact, and I'll believe you. You know.
Well, let me ask you this: why do you think Giannis is not with the Warriors right now?
Yeah, because he's fucking around. Because he would be somewhere else. It's not just the Warriors. It's pretty clear he just doesn't want to really stay there.
But again, he was briefly on the trade market.
Yeah.
The Warriors offered easily the best package.
Yeah.
And nothing. And the Bucks are like, click.
Yeah, they think they could get better this summer. But if they realize this summer nothing's coming, maybe they'll change their mind.
That's not what happened. And again, I'm sitting here telling you,
Giannis,
because you can think about this. Giannis is going to be a free agent in a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Not this summer,
the Warriors are not going to give Milwaukee those 4 firsts if Giannis will not commit long-term to the Warriors. And Giannis would not commit long-term to the Warriors because he sees Steph's age. He sees Steve Kerr. He's like, he wants nothing to do with this. He's like, I'm good.
Okay, but technically I see like even Giannis, he's what, 32 now, I think?
I wouldn't even trade for him at this point either. But I mean,
I was going to say, I think he needs even maybe more Steph than Steph. Well, it's both sides. Like Giannis cannot win it. Like if you put Giannis on Golden State right now, healthy playing, we're still not going anywhere. I think Steph would even push us further than Giannis alone with the team around him because he needs so much.
Agreed. But again, if you're talking about trying to help Steph, he's probably still the best choice.
Yeah,
and
to help Steph 100%. Yeah,
and I don't think he can get him. He doesn't want to come here. That's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, I'm trying to be realistic about this. Nobody wants to come here. The Warriors have almost no shot of getting real help for Steph. He's turning 39 next year. So I'm looking at the options and going, all right, so trade. Who the hell are you going to get that's going to magically flip the script? Free agency, it's bare cupboard this offseason. So if you're not tanking for the future, what are you doing? You're just in this middle ground of nothing. Like
but it's like last year when we got Jimmy Butler. It was not on our radar that much, and we just finally got him. Everybody hates the run that we did, but it worked. We had a good
until it didn't. Yeah.
Well, until injury came, not until the.
But Barber, do you not think? Does it not? Again, this is where I don't understand why you keep ignoring this. Steph got injured because he's old. Like if Steph wasn't 37 years old, he could have been playing those 40+ minute games and not have his hammy pop on him. That's what happens when you get old. Your body breaks down, man. This is why, like, again, I love Steph. He's a god, man. He's never going to pay for a meal the rest of his life here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I never thought anybody would supplant Joe Montana as the king of sports in the San Francisco Bay Area. Stephen Curry did it. Unbelievable accomplishment. But just like the Niners did with Joe Montana, you got to move on at a certain point, man. And I'm not saying move on from Steph, like let him go or trade him. But what I'm saying is like this idea of going all out, like trading all your assets, doing whatever you can to give him another shot. Dude, that's okay.
So from your point of view, that you maybe know something we don't, or you clearly see something I don't
know. No,
is Steph aware of nobody's coming? I'm done. Let's face the fact that I'm here for 2-3 years, not knowing anything.
I don't know. I don't know what Steph's thinking. That's
because I think he still wants to win.
Agreed.
So if he wants to win and he knows it's not going to happen in Golden State, what's
the name of that Rolling Stone song, Barber? You can't always get what you want.
Well, you can try.
You can try. Try. Anyways, Barber, let's wrap it. This was a good conversation, though. Anything else you want to bring up?
No, it's all good. I'll let it.
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I know I sound like a Debbie Downer. I get it. But for what it's worth, like I feel like the Warriors are making me like this because they keep doing dumb decision after dumb decision, and it's always one guy making all these dumb decisions. And we're at a point now where it's like if you're not trying to get that a lottery pick next year, it's just another foolish choice that the Warriors are making here. Like Steve Kerr with this whole again. I played this clip before, and I'll play it right now because it's the only thing I think of when I think of Steve Kerr going, I don't tank. I coach to win.
Man, you corny.
He's such a cheeseball.
Okay, then one thing, please. Just one thing. Just I want to know because I was not there last year. When the Jimmy trade happened, were you happy or sad or mad?
Barber, first of all, I was advocating for it. It happened. Okay. I was exalted.
So you were happy.
Dude, it's not just that, Barber, listen to me.
Yeah, more than that.
Part of the reason why I even have an audience is because back in the summer of 2021, I was telling the whole world the Warriors were going to win the championship that year. And I was like the only guy, the only other person in the media game who was making that proclamation in the offseason was Stephen A. Smith. Incredibly, like he actually nailed it that season. And it was because, like, again, it was just the roster construction was perfect. I studied the lay of the land in terms of opposition. The Warriors' lack of size was not going to be an issue. And they won the championship, right? And last year, when the Warriors made that trade, and then there was a stretch of 3 games. The Warriors beat the Grizzlies. They beat and this was when one of the last moments of the Grizzlies still being and resembling a successful team before they started just being torpedoed as a franchise. Yeah. It was literally the Grizzlies they beat, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. It was the first time in 3 years they beat the Nuggets, like their arch nemesis. And I came out and proclaimed after that show, I guarantee the Warriors win the championship this year. I was dead certain of it until GP2 came back from his injury the very next game. GP2 comes back. Jonathan Kuminga's role, which was pivotal in those 3 games, especially that Nuggets game particularly, he gets relegated again because Steve Kerr values GP2 more than Jonathan Kuminga. And when I saw that, I backtracked. I was like, folks, it was like not even a week later. I was like, I'm sorry to do this. I was mistaken. I thought Steve Kerr was going all in on Jonathan Kuminga. I saw that front court of Dre, Jimmy, and Kuminga and was thinking to myself, who's going to stop that? Just like what we saw at the beginning of this season with those first 2 weeks.
It was the Warriors happy beat the guy
Lakers and Nuggets again. They beat the Lakers and Nuggets again, and Steve Kerr couldn't give that 2 weeks before giving up. And I have no hope anymore for this team, man. To me, the only hope is a future without Kerr. And a future where hopefully you start planning ahead. And if you get some competency back and Stephen Curry's still on the team, maybe he does have a shot. I guess here's what I'm trying to say ultimately, Barber. I don't think Steph has a shot as long as Steve Kerr is here. That's where
but so finally, just so you were happy, but then the GP2 thing. And then when we went against you,
the Kuminga thing. Yeah.
What were you still? I know you were probably happy that they won, but were you still like, oh shit, maybe even if it's not what I wanted to see, like they're not doing it the way I wanted. Were you clearly thinking like, oh, now Minnesota, it's over?
What I was saying, so I don't know if you remember, but Steve Kerr decided to DNP Kuminga the last, 2 or 3 games of the regular season.
Yeah.
The Warriors were set to finish as the 6th seed and avoid the play-in altogether, right? And they were going to play the Lakers in the first round. I'm feeling great about that. I thought they were going to easily take care of the Lakers, but then Steve Kerr decides, sorry, Kuminga just doesn't fit, and DNP's them. They lose to the Spurs. The Spurs were not good last year, by the way. Victor Wembanyama is not even on the team, and then they lose that season finale to the Clippers. They drop to the 7th seed, and my perspective at that point was, they'll probably beat the Rockets. Like I predicted they beat the Rockets. I did not predict Steph was going to go down with a hamstring injury. I also did not think they'd win the championship unless Kuminga became a part of it again. That's where I was. But then Steph went down and none of it mattered anymore. So I'll say this.
But against Minnesota, you were thinking, did you think when they got to Minnesota that they could beat them?
Unless Steph comes back.
No,
Remember
before,
all they
like
needed to do was
right
win
at the
one game?
moment, we know we're playing them. Like now, it's the second round. It's the first game. The game start. Were you like, okay, Golden State's gonna take care of Minnesota?
No, because remember Steph was out for like that entire series.
no,
no,
he got injured in the 10 minutes in the first game. Like
when Steph went down, I lost hope. Until look, you can't.
still
I
had hope.
didn't give up until Steph was out. Then I knew it was pretty much over.
So you see, this for me is proving a bit my point that as long as Steph is balling on the court, you're still with Steph.
But let me add one more caveat though.
Yeah,
my optimism is no longer there because again, Stephen Curry's 38 years old.
Yeah, because a lot of things piles up. Yeah, and then things change.
It's just to me, it's over. I'm sorry, and I hate being like. I know that's not a message people want to hear. And look, I'm not Notre Dame. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I already said, look, if the Warriors win a 5th championship, I will
get a tattoo
Steve Kerr on my body, just to show you, just to show that I appreciate being wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want Steph to get a 5th championship more than pretty much anything. Outside of me wishing health for my pup and my family, I want Stephen Curry to get a 5th championship. That's how, I guess, simple of a human being I am. But I have zero faith.
But you don't believe in it, as a big plan. You just don't see it as like it's done.
Not unless Kerr's gone. Like let's say for the sake of argument, let's say Steve Kerr does not come back next year, and let's say they bring in a new coach, whether it's some young guy who's an assistant now with a bright mind. Maybe it's like a Brent Barry. Maybe it's like a Willie Green. Maybe it's Mike Malone. There's a lot of options to choose from. Another reason why I want Steve Kerr gone now and not like another year of this bullshit. Yeah,
because you think there's a lot.
Maybe I'll be optimistic again because then you'll have a head coach who actually understands who to play when. They'll understand that you need to surround Stephen Curry with talent and not a bunch of hobbits. Right?
Wait, so you think there's talent out there? So you think a coach would make a bigger change than getting some new players right now?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, this is where
because we want to know why? Because Steve Kerr plays the worst players on his team consistently.
Well, I mean, that's all there's left.
What's up?
That's all there's left. The worst player in the team.
Well, but you notice how they're competitive in a lot of these games still? Like the Warriors were built as a deep team this year. Like there's a lot of there's still good players on this team. D'Anthony Melton's a good player. Draymond Green is still on this team. Gui Santos is a good player. GP2 in like 10 to 15 minutes a game.
You just said it. Gui Santos wouldn't even be playing in another, and he would be in the G League in another team. Like you said that. If I was wrong,
he'd be end of the bench. Well, but again, if everyone was healthy, dude, Gui Santos was benched just the last game. He got benched for Moses. Like, what did Gui Santos do?
Maybe it was that slick tanking you guys want.
Let me ask again. What did Gui Santos do to deserve getting pulled from the starting lineup last game?
Nothing. He plays great.
This is why I can't stand Steve Kerr.
All right. That part, that whole Steve Kerr, I'm not arguing with anybody. I know everybody hates Kerr. I just still believe that whatever Kerr does, Curry, Draymond, and even Jimmy, and I don't care. KP, I know KP is KP. I don't care. But I'll still believe that as long as he steps on the court, I think he can play good minutes for us. But
here's my problem. Here's the biggest reason why I think Steve Kerr is the biggest problem. He thinks for example, with this current team, let's say Steph comes back. Steve Kerr thinks that the genius lineup is having Stephen Curry out there with Brandon Podziemski and D'Anthony Melton. You will see lineups and maybe even GP2. That's 4 guys, 6'4", 6'3", 6'2".
And under. Yeah.
Kerr does that shit all the time without any recognition that Steph and those other hobbits are getting slaughtered defensively. Murdered. And it puts strain on their bodies. It wears them down. That's my issue, man. You need to have the perfect roster for a Steve Kerr team to win. And I don't see how you can have a perfect roster anymore. It's you need a rebuild for that.
But you remember that we were like top 10. Sorry. Yeah. No, but I was just going to say, you remember that even when he was still playing those Hobbit lineup, if you want to say, we were like 9th, 10th in the defense-wise. Like, we were not that, we were pretty decent defense. Not the last, 20 game. Since Jimmy went down, everything, blowed up. Even worse the last, let's say 15 game or whatever. But we were decent, a good defense team. Anyway,
Nah.
We're gonna argue for a long time, but I'm just saying, like, if everybody's thinking that way, then
They're
the
not.
front office should trade Steph. Even Steph should be willing to be traded. Go to San Antonio. You'll win the 5th and the 6th ring. So I have a hard time thinking that Steph, being who he is, sitting there and saying to himself, like, I know this team is going nowhere. I know we won't get no player, but I'm sticking here saying all kind of nonsense like, oh, yes, I'll win another one. We'll get better. And it's just like, he's too big for that. He's not just like a regular superstar. Like,
you're right.
He changed. Anyway. You're right.
But what I will say repeatedly is Father Time sucks. I mean, were you old enough to remember Michael Jordan?
Yeah, for sure. I'm 38.
Did you appreciate those Wizards years? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't.
And he still was putting up good numbers. He was still like one of the league's like top scorers, and he was like the only good player on that. I think it was like it was him and Rip Hamilton, I think, on that team, or was it Larry Hughes? He had nobody on that team, and they still.
But I was
like
going to say that's not the question. I'm pretty sure Jordan at that age on a good team would have been a good Jordan to play.
Yeah, but like how can you put Steph on a good? But how can you? This Warriors team reminds me of that Wizards team. Like that's what.
Yeah,
that's what
right
I'm
now. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know how you can improve it in such a short time. But and side note, I refuse to watch Jordan live when he was with the Wizards. Like I wanted to cherish my memories of him in a Bulls uniform because I went and watched the Warriors Bulls game back in like the mid 90s. And then when he did the Wizards thing, I'm like, no, I'm good, man.
Yeah,
I just don't want Steph to go out like that, dude. I don't want that. I get it. I hear what you're saying. Yes, Stephen Curry is that special. I agree. But his head coach sucks. It's just very frustrating.
I won't even try to change anybody's mind on Curry. So that's a done deal over here.
Good talk.
All right. So
good talk, Barbara.
I'll let you talk to somebody else.
All right, brother. We're 2 hours in. It's time to go anyways. Barbara, have a great night. Fun conversation. Chardal, I see him waiting in the green room, but I want to get to the mailbag. We haven't done emails in a little bit. So let's open up the mailbag and hear from some folks out there who have thoughts to express. They have words on their mind, but they'd rather write them than articulate them. That's why we have a mailbag. And let's get to it.
Letters. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
All right. We got a few emails here. The mailbag is full. This one is from the Golden State Warriors. Warriors register franchise record 600th consecutive sellout. It's a press release. I'm kidding. The all-time longest NBA sellout streaks, the Dallas Mavericks with let me share my screen so you folks can see this. And then I'll get to a real email in just a second. But the Warriors sent this as a press release, and let me just show the audience. Damn it. Here we go. All right. So the Dallas Mavericks hold the all-time NBA sellout streak record, where they sold out 1,005 consecutive games. This was from December 15th, 2001 to October 27th of last year. Wow. So the Luka Doncic trade ultimately sabotaged the sellout streak. I hope the same thing happens at Chase Center if they keep Steve Kerr around. Portland Trailblazers from April 9th, 1977 to November 16th, 1995. That's incredible. Sold out 814 straight games. The Miami Heat have the longest current sellout streak of 679 games. This is from April 23rd, 2010 to the present. So the Warriors are not the active leaders in this, surprisingly. The Boston Celtics have the fourth longest streak ever, started December 23rd, 1980, and that streak finished May 5th, 1995. Yeah, those mid-90s Celtics teams were bad. Chicago Bulls, da Bulls, had a 610-game streak, which the Warriors could challenge depending on next year. And that went from November 20th, 1987 to November 3rd, 2000, soon after Michael Jordan and company left. And then your Golden State Warriors currently have the 6th longest sellout streak. It started December 18th, 2012 to now. So there you go. Just some interesting stuff, but you're not here for that. We're here to read some lotteries. Let's start read some letters. Let's start Nick Fensky, longtime Golden Dazer. We've never met, but I still consider you a friend, who writes, just a thought. Tanking in professional sports, it's been around for a long time. The whole concept of rewarding the worst teams with a chance to draft the best players is ridiculous. In life, the more successful you are, the more your reward, whether it's salary, your title, prestige. Well, not in professional sports. Rewarding losing teams is done under the guise of competitive balance. This is counterproductive. It literally gives bad and poorly run teams no incentive to change, to improve their standing. I'll use the NBA for this example, since it is currently in the news. Reconfiguring how teams draft in the NBA. This is my concept with adding the much talked out expansion of 2 teams. Word in the casinos, are you hanging on the casinos, Nick? Is that the 2 cities will be Vegas and Seattle. That is confirmed. Instead of the draft lottery being held as an NBA special event, similar to the draft lottery, the new lottery tournament, which replaces tanking with competition. The NBA announces a new tournament named after the late Kobe Bryant, the Kobe Bryant Draft Lottery Tournament. The new tournament will be the embodiment of the competitive spirit of the Lakers legend. Kobe always strived to be the best, number one, and built himself up from a 17-year-old lottery pick to one of the greatest NBA players ever. An elimination tournament where the team who wins the tournament wins the number 1 pick. No tanking, only earning. The longer you stick around the tournament, the better pick you get. You are actually incentivized to win. Good email, Nick Fensky. Whoa, wait. There's more. Let's go back to the mailbag.
Letters. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
This one, just a friendly reminder, these are not my words, all right? This is from Dwayne Middleton, who writes, "Greetings, Cy. I hope all is well. I've enjoyed your podcast for a while, especially after you left Locked On Warriors with the dreaded co-host you had." I forgot her name, which is telling. I want to clue you in on athletic alchemy. If you are not already aware, he presents like a guy who would desperately like to work for the Steve Kerr staff. If I didn't know better, one would think alchemy gets his talking points from Steve Kerr himself. This past offseason, during the Kuminga negotiations, he stated that Aaron Turner was, quote, doofy, unquote. I found that statement a tell because when I heard your interview with Turner, he represented the entire situation cogently. Alchemy's assessment screamed, quote, I'm a Kerr clone, unquote. AKA, I must protect my idol. The pot shots he takes at Kuminga have become predictable to the point where I can almost finish his sentences. He's caping for Porzingis, which is nauseating, echoes Kerr's devotion to this prima donna. Oddly, in Alchemy's podcast following the game against the Hawks, he labeled JK as a prima donna. I am convinced that he would give it all up. To me, a gopher for Kerr. That comment was tone deaf given JK's background and his journey to the NBA. In fact, Kerr and Porzingis are classic prima donnas. The point of this email is to say to you, Athletic Alchemy is not a worthy person to have back on Golden Days. It would only be worthwhile if you debated him. I've stopped listening to most of his work because, as I said, he is predictable and therefore boring as hell. If I were him, I would just apply to work for the Warriors. He'd fit right in. By the way, we're loving Kuminga here in Atlanta. Great day, Cy. Dwayne. Okay. Niners Mind is asking, has Athletic Alchemy been on here before? He was with me on the old show, and I thought it was a good hit. I had a good time with him, and I was looking forward to continue it. And then he was speaking of divas, he diva'd me. He was like, well, I got this new sponsor that's taking up a lot of time, and why don't we revisit in a few months? I was like, okay. And then I revisited in a few months, and he came up with another excuse. And then I told him, I was like, you know what? If you're interested in doing another a crossover, let me know. And that was like 3 years ago. So I don't watch him though. So I don't know what he says personally, but that is not my opinion. That is Dwayne Middleton. Dwayne, thank you again. One more email, and then we'll enter the danger zone.
Letters, we get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
This email, last but not least, from Robert Marano. This one's short and sweet. Second email from Robert. He's had an email read here before. Robert Marano writes, hi, Cy. I doubled down on my previous statements. You should be praising Steve Kerr. His cognitive impairment has not deteriorated. Steve is still able to recognize which team bench to sit at during the game. Steve still recognizes Brandon Pajemski. Kind regards, Robert. Very short and sweet. All right. And again, if you ever want to email us, the email address is right here. Warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, Warriors24pod@gmail.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. All right. So without further ado, let's go into the danger zone.
Man, stay at home, son.
Oh, we're in the danger zone, and he's got a new picture. How you doing, Sherdall?
Hi, Cy.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing tonight on this late night edition of Golden Days? As the Golden State Warriors take down the Brooklyn Nets by final score of 109-106 from Chase Center in San Francisco, California, over one of the most dismal teams in the Eastern Conference, with a record of 17 wins and 56 losses, and they are on a 9-game losing streak, consisting of players such as Nicholas Claxton, Zaire Williams, and Michael Porter Jr.
Shardal, do you mind if we bring on someone real quick? They were trying to get on the show earlier, and they still are trying. Do you mind if we indulge?
I don't mind if we bring somebody else on the show.
Gick75? How do you pronounce it? Jick? How do you pronounce that? How are you doing? JHIJK. Jeek? 75? Hello? Jeek.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're here. You made it. Woo! Music's off, so we can hear you a little bit better. How are you doing, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, not much, man. I really don't have much to say. I just wanted to, reiterate that Steph kind of gave up on the team. Hope you guys are aware of that. That's all.
Shardal, do you agree? Well, first of all, how do you pronounce your name so I can get it right next time?
Oh, it's just GHJK75.
What do you want me to call you? Because I don't want to call you GHJK75 each time I address you.
Oh, GH is fine.
GH. Okay, GH. Shardal, do you agree with GH's take that Stephen Curry has given up on his team?
I don't agree with that. Stephen Curry has not given up on his team. He keeps fighting every single day.
GH, do you have any questions for Chardal?
No, none whatsoever.
GH, where are you joining us from in the world?
Oakland.
Oh, nice. What neighborhood?
The kind of like by Jack London. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of new apartments over there.
Yeah. It's a beautiful spot, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congrats. I'm with you, man. So you're frustrated with Steph. Is it primarily because you feel like he's enabling all of this, starting with Steve Kerr?
I mean, for sure. I mean, I kind of agree with the last thing I remember was Barber on the phone. You were on the phone with him for a while.
It was.
I kind of agree with him. Like, if this nostalgia take that the organization is going with, it would have worked if they didn't push Clay out, I feel. So I think that's the big mistake and that's why Pods is like getting all this, extra minutes and stuff, is because they're really trying to like prove that wasn't the wrong move. But I think that the fan base would be able to tolerate and stomach this a little bit better if the original core three was still together.
I still can't believe that Steve Kerr chose Podziemski over Clay. That blows my effing mind, dude.
Well, it's really Steph chose Podziemski over Clay. And that's why I'm really mad at Steph. But that's another point. I mean, I think that's kind of like the great stint of the organization is letting Clay walk, given how much he gave to the organization and kind of like undermining that and what that meant to the fan base and how that could carry over in these dark years. They really like didn't value him like they should have, I feel.
I agree. I had no issue with reducing his role, like bringing him off the bench, if it was because of someone better than Podziemski stealing his spot. Like when that became the revelation that he lost his job because of Brandon Podziemski, that to me was like the final straw, man. Like, I mean, I was already done with Kerr, but like to learn, and then on top of that, do you remember Klay Thompson? Like for a year or so, kept saying, "I can't play for another coach. Steve Kerr's my guy. Like I love him." And damn, man, he got quiet on that front real quick. Like that all just. Sure.
Well, you got to understand with Podziemski is he's like a company player. Like he's gonna do what the organization wants. He's gonna say what they want him to say. He's gonna show up to Valkyrie's games. He's gonna do all the little things for the organization that they love. And the alternatives in 2023, I don't know if they would have. Like I don't know if they would have like taken the L, like just passed it to Steph, and just like Clay was in a contract year. Jordan Poole, I think, was still on the team. He was bad,
Yeah.
So like, you had like a lot of like weird things going on in that year, where Podziemski was kind of the best option for the organization. Moody, he was trying to prove himself. JK as well.
Was he? You think so?
I think so, because that was like around the time Moody's mom was on the media talking about she doesn't trust Steve Kerr.
Shirtle, do you remember that? I have no recollection of Rona Moody calling out Kerr.
I have no recollection of that.
GH, are you sure she did that?
I'm pretty sure. I remember Moody was really upset about Kerr. Maybe it was Moody himself that called it out, but I remember something about his mom, like sort of reiterating the point on Twitter. But maybe that's my fuzzy memory.
No. So what happened is I don't remember his mom's role in all of it, but in the same time period when Jonathan Kuminga made his trade request, the first one back in 2024, it went totally under the radar. But Moses Moody just 24 hours later did the same thing, because both of them were like, "What are we doing here? Like we're two lottery picks just rotting away because this coach has his peculiarities." Like it was one of the most asinine things I can imagine. Anyways, here we are now. So GH, any final thoughts before Shardall and I wrap up the show with the scoreboard?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the coach's peculiarities. I think it's Steph wanting to maintain a sort of status and control a narrative by playing a certain style that sort of heightens the chances that he gets 30 points. Like, if you run Steph as a decoy, he gets maybe 15 points, 10 assists, you could probably win every single basketball game possible with him on the floor. Like, he could be out there with runner's knee right now at running as a decoy, and you could probably win a lot of games. But because he wants to score 30 points and be the guy, and, you know, his ego's involved in it.
He was an all-star this year again, which feeds into that. Here's my thing. Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. Because that's a crazy thing you said there. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm asking you, GH, is because everything I've heard behind the scenes, because that's been a massive curiosity of mine, is like, is Stephen Curry really behind all the decisions that Steve Kerr makes? And every indication from every source I've talked to is that Steph is the good soldier, and Draymond Green is like this too. Like they're both just typical athletes, right? Who as part of their role, they embrace the whole like coach player hierarchy and that relationship, and they just trust Kerr. And maybe it just doesn't need to be said. And maybe Steph is not like directly telling Steve Kerr all this, right? And Kerr is just so focused on making Steph happy. Like that's clearly his lone priority is what can I do to make Steph's life easier? F the team, F everything else. Steph is my worry. And what you're saying is you think Steph is behind all that. Everything I'm hearing is that Steph is just being a good boy and not saying anything because his coach is already doing all that stuff for him. And maybe the issue is that Steph should be speaking out against it. But regardless, it's not a good look.
I don't buy that at all, man. Like, these guys are 4-time champions. Like, they're maniacal. Like, they're diabolically maniacal about winning games and tearing other people's hearts out. Like, I don't, and Steve Kerr doesn't coach. Like, everyone knows that. Like, Steve Kerr will literally let these dudes do whatever the hell they want, especially Steph and Draymond. Like, they are literally able to throw the ball away because they're so good. I don't see it as like, oh, they're doing it. They're just, listening to whatever Steve says. Like, no, Draymond will literally walk out of a game, as we saw this season, when he doesn't agree with Steve Kerr or what he's doing. And he will literally yell in people's face when he doesn't agree with what they're doing. I mean, same with Steph. I've seen Steph throw mouthpieces at people and stuff. You know what I mean? And yell at people, like, and tell people, hey, get off the bus. All type of stuff. I don't think that they're like not culpable in everything that's going on. Like, it doesn't make sense that they get none of the blame but all of the glory. Like, I don't get that.
I guess I guess the main reason why, this is just me guessing, we're just talking shit at this point. When I say I don't mean like talking shit literally, like bad mouthing someone. We're just spitballing. My guess is, or not my guess, my guess for why Stephen Curry gets a pass is because, unlike Steve Kerr, Steph did earn those 4 championships. And so maybe he's earned the leeway to also, have a year or 2 or 3 like this, where if he wants to be the focus and he wants to be a little selfish, even though that it's the selfishness that is a hard thing to stomach, GH. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's the part that makes it hard to just come out and say that, because Steph doesn't ever give the indication he's a selfish person. Shardall, what do you think about what GH is saying? Because it's fascinating stuff.
I think Steph Curry, sometimes when you look at Steph Curry, he's sometimes selfish.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
2 bold opinions. Wow.
And he has to be. He should be. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I totally agree with everything you're saying. Like, he deserves a lot. He's given up a lot. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a lot. I'm just saying, as from an organizational standpoint, you should have kept Klay Thompson because he deserved a lot too.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, the Warriors should have kept Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson was the heart and soul and blood of this Warriors team. And when he left, Warrior fans were so heartbroken when he left to Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
And see, Mr. Silax in our chat is saying he's not selfish, he's greedy for wins and success. But Silax, I think what GH is saying is an antithesis to
Mr.
what
Silex. So I want to comment. I want to make a comment on what Mr. Silex is trying to say in the chat.
Go for it.
So he's greedy for wins. You're trying to turn Curry into a villain. He's greedy for wins.
No, that's not what. No, that's not in the shirt at all. What I was wanted to tell Silax is the greed that GH is saying is not for wins, it's for personal success. It's for another All-Star game. It's for averaging the 27 and change he's putting up this year scoring-wise. It's to solidify his own legacy, even though I personally believe if he sacrificed the points and sometimes did things like play the role of a decoy, that would increase their odds of winning a championship, which would in turn actually bolster his legacy. But it would also mean maybe less points, less stardom. It's complicated. So you're saying that Steph Curry wants to be really famous. He's greedy for whatever he can get. Not fame. He's got all the fame that I think an athlete can ever get. It's more current relevance, if that makes sense. GH, is that the best way to put it?
For sure. I mean, Steph's more like a Kobe. He's not Duncan. Duncan didn't sell shoes. Duncan didn't really do commercials. Like Steph is into all that. Like he's into his legacy for sure. Like I'm not saying he shouldn't be.
And again, this is where it comes down to, like, if we found out publicly that it was in fact Stephen Curry behind everything, like let's say some bombshell report came out tomorrow, like Anthony Slater has a new story, and it's like Stephen Curry was the mastermind behind every decision in recent Warriors history, including Kuminga being traded. It'd be one of those things where, like, it would kind of suck, but you just have to swallow it and accept it, right? Like, because Steve Kerr, it's like, what does he do? Like, Steve Kerr wields this enormous amount of power simply by having the ability to control who plays and who does not. That's power, right? Like no one can have an opportunity if they're not given it. And Steve Kerr is the one who decides who gets the opportunities and who does not. So to me, as someone who was a career role player, like for example, like Kerr's 5 rings with the Bulls and Spurs. Newsflash: the Bulls are still winning those 3 championships without him. Newsflash: the Spurs are winning those 2 championships without him. He was not the difference between any of those 5 teams winning or losing a championship. So he's just another guy, man. Like, there's nothing special about Steve Kerr is what I'm trying to say. Stephen Curry is special. Like, nobody can do what he does. He was like, the Warriors don't win any titles without him. And I know he needs the team and all that stuff, but still, he's the guy. So if we found out that it was Steph making these decisions, like we found out like GH, what you're saying is true to the upteenth degree, where he's like arrogant about it. Like, yeah, I wanted Kuminga gone. He was stealing my spotlight. F him. I think we just have to take it.
For sure.
One of those things where it's like, at least we know the truth now. And all right, Steph, you've earned this, man. Fine.
Yeah, but, I don't think it went down exactly like that. But.
I know. I'm just saying, when you look at that level, like,
when you look in sports, it's normal for a player to say, like, don't steal my spotlight. I'm the face of this league. Stephen Curry's the face of his league, and he doesn't want some other player coming and stealing his spotlight from him. He's not going to appreciate that. He's going to be like, I'm the face of this league. I should be on the NBA logo. Take Jerry West off the NBA logo and put Steph Curry on the NBA logo.
Especially because that's been a big chip on his shoulder, like gaining titles. Like his first few titles, he wasn't the Finals MVP, even though everybody knows, like, that's Steph Curry. Like, what are you talking about? He's not the best player on the team.
So, but, like, when Steph, when another player steals the spotlight from Steph, like, if I was the face of this league and some other player tried to steal it away from me, I'd be like, I'm representing this league, and you're some guy who's trying to steal it away from me. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
GH, look, GH, I don't know. Have you been on the show before?
Yeah. I have a couple times.
Okay, apologies for not having a good memory of that, but do me a favor and come back, dude, because you sound like someone who knows what they're talking about. You have your head on your shoulders.
We would love,
I appreciate talking basketball with you in the near future. Come back.
We would love to have you back on the show. We really appreciate you coming on here. You're welcome anytime. We love the interactions.
As Chardal said, yes.
I really appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. Call. Come on anytime. Come in as many times as you like.
Come back soon. All right, let's go through the scoreboard. By the way, real quick here, it's a message for you, Chardal. Hold on. In Dreams 159 with the Roy Orbison profile pic. Roy Orbison was a magnificent singer, by the way, if you're unfamiliar. Writing, Chardal, do you have a poster of Brandon Podziemski on the ceiling over your bed? Is that true?
That's not true. I don't have a poster of Brandon Podziemski on my ceiling over my bed. I have a Stephen Curry poster, not a Brandon Podziemski poster.
On the ceiling over your bed?
I have a Stephen Curry poster on the ceiling over my bed.
You're joking about that part, right?
I do.
Over your like when you sleep at night, you look up and there's Steph?
I look up and there's Steph.
Come on. You're not being real. Is that for real?
That's for real.
Come on. Oh my god, you are funny, dude. You are one. There's no one else. You are one of one, brother.
No, I have a Stephen Curry fat head.
You have a Stephen Curry fat head?
I want.
That's what's hanging on your ceiling? One of those fat heads?
One of those fat heads hanging over my ceiling.
That's incredible. All right, let's go through the scoreboard. Chardal, you're amazing. On a what's the date today? It was March 25th. Technically, it's so late. It's now March 26th. Let's get to the
So I have a Stephen Curry frame. I have a Stephen Curry frame poster. Autographed by Stephen Curry.
That is on your ceiling, the frame one?
Autographed by Stephen Curry himself.
How do you get a frame stuck on your ceiling? That takes work.
No, I'll just
Right.
I'll just take some nails and I'll nail it to my thing with a hammer.
You can't nail a frame up there though. That's why I was asking. Like a frame is hard. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Again on a Wednesday, March 25th, following the Golden State Warriors winning tonight, 109-106. They host the Wizards Friday. Another barn burner at Chase Center. We'll see how many people show up for that one. But elsewhere in the association, we start in Indiana where the LA Lakers hanging on to defeat another hapless Eastern Conference team, the Indiana Pacers, 137-130 the final in Indiana. The Lakers improving to 47-26. The Pacers dropping to 16-57. Andrew Nembhard, 14 points, 19 assists in the loss. Luka Doncic, 43 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists in the win. Chardal, what are your thoughts on Luka Doncic, who, since splitting up from his fiance, the mother of his children, has been on fire? It's almost like breaking up with the ex was a good thing for him, which is crazy. Your thoughts?
Luka Doncic has been balling out for the Lakers in the season. He just finished with 43 points as they beat the Indiana Pacers. Luka Doncic is one of the greatest players on the Lakers.
By the way, Nick Fensky in the chat has a recommendation for you, Chardal, and it's a great recommendation, Nick. Thanks for reminding me. Do you own a Rick Barry jersey? And if not,
I don't own a Rick Barry jersey.
Well, now that you have the idea in your head, will you get one?
I'll buy one.
You should. He's one of the greatest ever.
I'll buy one.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And if we ever get you on the camera and you do have that jersey, wear it so we can see it. Hell, if you buy that jersey, I'll bring you on with Rick.
If I wear that jersey?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he would love to see that. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy that jersey and wear it. Sounds
good. Nick, great suggestion there. Elsewhere in the NBA Association for this March 25th, a massive scoring outburst in Philadelphia with the 76ers 157-137 winners over the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls.
Ditka and sausage.
Chardal, you're on one tonight. Joel Embiid, 35 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists in the win. Josh Giddey, the player Steve Kerr wanted in that draft, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists in the loss. Chardol, if the Warriors had drafted Josh Giddey in 2021 instead of Jonathan Kuminga, how would things look in the modern day?
If they drafted Josh Giddey instead of Jonathan Kuminga, things would look very weird, different.
That's who Steve Kerr wanted in that draft, but he did not fall to 7. The Thunder snagged him at 6. Speaking of the Thunder, a huge game tonight in Boston. This is a potential NBA Finals preview, and the Celtics coming away victorious tonight. 119-109 winners. Boston improving to 48-24. The Thunder dropping to 57-16. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 33 points, 8 assists in the loss. Jaylen Brown, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. Chardol, I have a bit of a bold take for you. I'd love to get your reaction to this. I think Jaylen Brown should be a serious contender for MVP. He's having an outstanding season. Am I talking crazy?
You're not talking crazy. Jaylen Brown was one of the greatest players on the Celtics, and he should be a contender for MVP.
Poison Clan in our chat is asking, would you dance for Rick with the jersey on?
I would dance for Rick and have the jersey on.
What kind of dance?
I would do salsa.
I'm gonna you're gonna see a change to your open, a very slight one. Like the audio will stay the same, but I'm gonna add one little thing to it. Stay tuned for that, which I think you will like a lot. Speaking of dancing, because I know Along Came Polly was your inspiration for dancing, right?
That was my inspiration.
Okay, so keep that in mind. In Cleveland, a final score: the Miami Heat defeating the Cavaliers 120-103. Kel'el Ware, 13 points, 11 rebounds in the win. Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 6 boards in the loss for a Cavs team that drops 45-28. The Heat improving to 39-34. The San Antonio Spurs, 123-98 winners tonight in Memphis. Victor Wembanyama, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 3 steals in the win. Gigi Jackson, 20 points, 7 rebounds in the loss. The Spurs improving to 55-18. The Grizzlies dropping to 24-48. A final in Utah. The Warriors' next opponent, the Washington Wizards, victorious tonight. They win 133-110. They improved to 17-55 on the year. The Jazz dropping to 21.
Yeah. The Warriors' next opponent is not the Utah Jazz, it's the Washington Wizards.
That's what I thought. That's what I said.
No, you said Utah Jazz.
Oh, well, I meant the Wizards. Sorry. What is this guy's name? I kid you not, has no profile picture. I got to share my screen for this, just so people have an understanding of the scores I look at each night when I go through the scoreboard. This is what I'm running through is ESPN's. They have their top performers right here, and this Wizards player doesn't even have a profile photo. His name is Julian Reese. Is he a rookie? He's a rookie. Undrafted rookie. Top performer tonight, 26 points, 17 rebounds. I always forget the first name of this Contra guy. What's his first name? Is it John Contra? Okay, it's actually very simple. John Contra, 8 points. That's their top performer, 8 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks in the loss for the Jazz. The Wiz improving to 17-55. The Jazz dropping to 21-52. Was that funny to you, Chardol, the guy not having a profile pic?
That was really funny to me. I wish that guy had a profile picture, but he had no profile picture.
He had no pic. Final score in Minnesota, the Timberwolves, without Anthony Edwards, beating the Houston Rockets tonight, 110-108. Minnesota improving to 45-28. The Rockets dropping to 43-29. Alperen Şengün, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks in the loss. Rudy Gobert, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks in the win. Busy night tonight. We got 4 more of these. 5 more of these. 4 more of these. 4. Final in Denver. The Nuggets beating the Dallas Mavericks tonight, 142-135. Massive scoring outputs. The Nuggets improving to 46-28. The Mavericks dropping to 23-50. Jamal Murray, 53 points, 6 rebounds in the win. Cooper Flagg, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists in the loss. A final in Portland. The Trailblazers beating the hapless Milwaukee Bucks 130-99. They're now a 500 team. They improved to 37-37. The Bucks dropping to 29-43. Donovan Clingan, 14 points, 15 rebounds, 4 steals in the win. Former Golden State Warrior Ryan Rollins, 36 points in the loss. 2 more.
So Jamal Murray had 53 points.
Yeah.
If Jamal Murray had 30, if he scored 30 more points, he would have scored the same amount of points as Bam Adebayo.
Good math. Is math a strong suit of yours?
53 plus 30 is 83. So if Jamal Murray scored 30 more points in this game, he would have the same amount of points as Bam Adebayo on the Heat.
How many points would he have needed to break the record?
He would have needed 2 more points to break the record.
Not 2 more.
85.
One more. 84 would have broken it too.
No, 1 more. So he needs 1 more point to break it.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on Jamal Murray?
53 points. That's impressive. You want to hear from Draymond Green following tonight's game?
I would love to hear Draymond Green.
I'm trying to find what the best clip is. I don't even know what this clip is, but 95.7 The Game says this is worthy. So let's hear from Draymond Green. This is following tonight's game. I have no clue what this clip is about. Let me turn off the music here so we can hear Dre. Here is Draymond Green, who had a big fat triple single in tonight's game.
But then everybody throw out these things of, oh man, we want to see the game played a certain way. No, the hell y'all don't. You don't want to see the game played a certain way. What you want to see is someone score the basketball. Because here's a guy that had to say, hey man, it's 50% of the game to get his point across. I'm sorry, man. That really pissed me off when I saw he had to say 50% of the game, man.
I know you had to get it off your chest.
I did. I was hot when I saw it. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll figure it out now.
But now that you mentioned defense, what do you think?
But then everybody throw out these things of, oh man, we want to see the game played a certain way. No, the hell y'all don't. You don't want to see the game played a certain way. What you want to see is someone score the basketball. Because here's a guy that had to say, hey man, it's 50% of the game to get his point across.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. That really pissed me off when I saw he had to say 50% of the game, man.
I know you had to get it off your chest.
I did. I was hot when I saw it. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll figure it out now. But
Shardal, what do you think that was going on there? It sounds like Draymond Green was pissed off that someone did not acknowledge defense, but I couldn't tell for sure. What do you think?
So, in that press conference, Draymond Green got pissed off because they didn't mention defense, and then Draymond Green stormed off the set.
All right, here's some context. So Draymond Green was asked about Victor Wembanyama vocalizing his MVP case. And Draymond supposedly loved it and hated it. This is a long one, but who cares? This is Draymond Green again. And here he is talking about Victor Wembanyama, who publicly is making his case for MVP, and Draymond has an opinion on it. Let's hear it. Turn the volume up on your devices, please. This is courtesy of 95.7 The Game, the flagship station of the Golden State Warriors, yet they don't plug the microphone there into the mixer that is provided for them. I will never understand that. So as a result, the sound sucks. Here's Draymond Green.
Vocalize your own case. I'm just curious how you took that, just like his willingness to come out.
I hated it, and I absolutely loved it. And the reason is because the reason I hated it is because until Wemby said defense is 50% of the game, it was like, oh man, no one realized that, right? Like no one realized that 50% of the game we play is on that end of the floor. So he comes out and makes this profound ass statement.
I was muted there. Sorry for pausing for 1 second, but I don't know if Draymond will get this message, but
I
noticed the exact same thing on a consistent basis. People ignore defense all the effing time. Yeah. Go ahead, Sherdal. What's up?
I have never seen Draymond Green that fired up.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, but yeah, he's fired up. He's pretty fired up. Anyways, so apparently Draymond is shocked that Wanyama brought up the fact that half the game is defense, because he's right. People don't acknowledge that enough. All they care about is not stupid, but all they care about is the offense, and that's half the action.
And it's like, oh, of course it is. And everybody's like, oh man, he has a great point. Hello? You think? So I hated it because he had to do that for that to then be said. All of a sudden you turn on the TV and everybody's like, actually, maybe Wemby is the MVP. And I can agree with that. Maybe he is. But the fact that he has to come out and remind people, hey, y'all see what I do over there? It's like an indictment on the game of basketball. And everybody, talk all of this stuff about, oh man, you gotta play both sides. And everybody wanna crush Luka Doncic when Luka doesn't live up to the standard of defense. But we got this guy defending entire teams, and no one took it into account until he said, well, number one, defense is 50% of the game. I want to give him so much credit for such a profound statement, but honestly, was it really that profound? But it's so true. And yet it took for him to say that, for everybody to say, oh man, he's right about that. And so that's, that's a little bit of it. And yet, and still, I love what he said, but there's some doubt. My goal is by the end of the season, there's no doubt. Like, I love the way he was approaching it. And the reality is, I said I hate it. But I'm just telling you, man, in these awards, if you don't talk, people can't see. You're talking a game of basketball. It's not act like everybody can just open their eyes and know what's going on. We know that's not the case. So when you're talking these awards, I know everybody's like, oh man, you said this, or such and such said this about themselves. Until Evan Mobley finally said something last year, nobody was going to give him Defensive Player of the Year. Then he finally said something. He's like, oh, all right, maybe we'll take a look. So the reality is, if you don't come out and speak for yourself, it don't work. And I tip my cap to Wemby.
All right, there you go. Sherdal, what do you think about that?
To me, the thing I really love about Draymond Green is that Draymond Green is a philosophical type of person. He says whatever is on his mind. Doesn't matter what people agree with it, disagree with it, doesn't matter. He says what he thinks. That's what I like about that guy.
Me too.
And if anybody disagrees with what he says, they can go to F off and they can go to hell, because they don't have to listen to what that guy says.
Here's one more clip of Draymond. This is from Anthony Slater, and this is in regards to Stephen Curry and whether or not Draymond thinks Steph should come back. This should be interesting. So here is Draymond Green. Let me get the music shut off again here. This is courtesy of Anthony Slater.
I think it's a slippery slope telling a guy who loves basketball you can't come back and play basketball when they feel like they're healthy enough to play basketball. So I think if there's an inkling of a doubt with his knee, no, I don't. But if he's healthy and he can play, absolutely, because that's what you put the work in for. You put the work in to give yourself a chance to have a great season, to get into the postseason and flourish on that stage. And so, and you don't know how many opportunities you get. You can always kick the can down the road and say, oh man, we'll get back at it. But that don't always work like that. We kicked the can down the road last year. We didn't kick the can down the road. Unfortunately, Steph got hurt. But say we kicked the can down the road last year, like, oh man, we'll get it back next year, and then look at this year. So you got to take advantage when you can. And I know he'll be out there if he's healthy. But I think if there's an inkling of a doubt that, he's not in the space that he needs to be in, I don't. But I think that for anybody. I think, everybody, when we play this game, you want to be a hero. We all want to throw your cape on and come save the day. But if that risks future injury for him, I don't think anyone would be in agreement that that's the right move.
And Stephen Curry has not played since January 30th. Anthony Slater reported earlier today that Steph hasn't even scrimmaged with the team yet. Another update coming later this week. So we shall see. Yeah.
So what I really love, another point I really like about Draymond Green is he thinks he thinks in a metaphorical type of way. That's what I like about him. He finds ways to make up a situation that is negative, and he turns into a positive.
Chardal, the professor, joining the chat with a fascinating point, and I call it fascinating because the last 2 or 3 times Armando Laura brought up the fact that the Warriors beat a team that was tanking creatively at the end of a game, he was right. We're almost 3 hours into this show, and we have not broached once the idea that maybe Brooklyn gave the game away at the end. Holy shit. Professor, bravo. You might be right.
I love everything the professor says.
Not everyone does, but I do. I'm with you, Chardal. I do too. But I think some people in hindsight will ultimately love everything he says. But some things are hard to stomach in the moment because the professor and I are both like big picture type individuals, right? Like we like to look ahead, not just see what's going on in the present. I want to look at the play-by-play just to see in the fourth quarter. What was going on who was in the game at the end? Like usually that's how tanking teams tank. They hold out their best players at the end of games. Was Zaire Williams in the game at the end? So Josh Minott was in the game. Josh Minott finished the night for Josh Minott did not start, but he closed the game. That's interesting. Ben Saroff was in the game at the end. Chardal, do you know who Ben Saroff is?
Like, I have been rehashing this point over and over and over and over again. All these random players. What is up with all these random players?
Brooklyn has a lot of them. Well, Ben Saroff did start the game, and he was in at the end.
But I don't know who Ben Saroff is.
No one does. It's not your fault. I promise. Nobody knows who these guys are. So Ben.
Then why are they playing? Why are these? If nobody knows who these players are, then why do they have all these players who are playing? Nobody even knows their names.
Because they're tanking. Because they're playing all these shitty players because they want a high draft pick next year. Not to mention Michael Porter Jr. is hurt as well. Jalen.
Why are they playing all these shitty players?
Because they're tanking. Because they're trying to lose for a better draft pick. Jalen. Hold on, I lost that name.
Who are they going to get?
Wilson. Did
Who
Jalen Wilson start tonight? No. Jalen Wilson was in the game at the end. He did not start. Never heard of that dude. I'm with you, Chardal. I've never heard of these guys either.
Who are the Nets going to get? They're tanking right now. Who are they going to get?
I'm trying to figure out who the other two guys were. Chaney Johnson was player 4. Chaney Johnson did not start either. Holy shit, dude. Armando, you brilliant son of a bitch. Bravo. Look at the professor coming in here, nearly the 3-hour mark to point out what I missed. My bad. That's my fault. This is why we're a good team, because he spotted that and thankfully saved.
Have you not recognized that?
No one does. None of these guys except for that Saraf dude started. Let me see who the 5th guy is real quick. Hold on. There was a 5th guy in the game. Oh my god, dude. Malachi Smith? did not start. This is crazy. The Brooklyn Nets absolutely take this game. These are the 5 players who closed for Brooklyn tonight. Or let me rephrase that. I'll tell you the 5. The only starter who closed the game for Brooklyn tonight, Ben Soroff. If you're asking yourself, who's Ben Soroff? Great question. I don't know who the hell are any of these guys. I know who Nick Claxton is. I know Zaire Williams. I know Terrence Mann. That's about it. That's all I'm familiar with. Oh, and EJ Liddell, who barely played. So the guys who closed this game tonight, Ben Soroff, Josh Minott, Malachi Smith, Jalen Wilson, and Chaney Johnson.
Cyrus?
Let me do that one more time. Ben Soroff, he was the only starter. Josh Minott, Chaney Johnson, Malachi Smith, Jalen Wilson. If you're thinking to yourself, who the hell are those guys? That's your tanking lineup. Professor, my God. Thank you, sir.
Cyrus?
Yes, sir, at all.
Who the fuck are all those people?
That is incredible, man. That is incredible.
The Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are a shit show right now.
So are the Warriors.
No, the Nets are a shit show.
I missed this earlier.
No, Nets are bigger, much bigger shit show.
Tommy, forgive me for the $5 donation being acknowledged just now. That's my bad. Please forgive me. You wrote this, I don't know when, but we'll at least address it now. Tommy, again, a $5 donation. Thank you, sir, writing. NBA free agents tend to sign in cities with a vibrant nightlife unless they have a chance for a ring like the Dubs. Post Stephen Curry, will free agents want to sign here? Dude, pre-Stephen Curry,
Cyrus,
this organization never got anybody. With
Cyrus,
Stephen Curry, they got 2 free agents that were significant. Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant. All the rest, I mean, David West was a good one, but he was like 36, 37 years old. Otto Porter Jr. was on his last legs, literally. Hey, Tommy. Yeah, Shardal, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, in the game, Terrence Mann tried to posterize Kristaps Porzingis, and he failed miserably. He was not able to posterize Kristaps Porzingis. He was too tall for Terrence Mann. Kristaps Porzingis is 7 foot tall, and Terrence Mann is probably 5 foot tall. So he's like 2 feet tall than Porzingis to Mann.
Paul 556 Freak Show in the chat saying, we do have a nightlife here, bro. Look, Paul, every city has a nightlife. What A. Tommy is referencing is the type of nightlife that satisfies the urges of big name NBA stars. The Bay Area is not popping. San Francisco at 1:30 in the morning is not raging like some cities.
Cyrus, so you brought in that other caller. I'd rather just have it you and me, because when you brought the other caller, it wasn't a flowing show. You know, when you bring somebody else, because isn't it? You're
good. We're good.
But am I the closer?
Yeah, of course.
But then if you bring somebody else, it's not a flowing show, right? We're not
doing that regularly. Okay, don't worry about it. That was not a normal thing. We won't do that all the time.
Because you know when you brought him on the show, it's not a flowing show, right? Isn't it normal that Bloomer comes on and then you and I finish up the show and we ended on a note?
No, that's not. It's not a normal thing. I know you don't like your routine disrupted. It's GH was trying to get on the whole night.
That's why this is not my best show. I think
you're doing great. By the way, 49ers Minded is asking you, Shardal, when is your bedtime? Do you have a bedtime?
I don't have a bedtime.
Okay, that sounds like the way he wrote that. It's like you're a child. Shardal, when do you usually go to bed?
I go to bed late.
Like how late?
2, 3 a.m. at night.
Look at you. They say the creative folks are the ones who are night owls. So there you go.
So I really like having the other caller, but it was disrupted.
By the way, Shardal, not everyone's reacting positively to what you just said. Mog is calling you Mr. Ego.
I don't have an ego.
And 49ers Minded is saying you're acting entitled.
I'm not entitled.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. See, GH says this is your best show. I think you're killing it. I think you're fantastic tonight.
Thanks
You're
a
good.
lot for it.
Shardall, it's it's not a regular thing that we bring other folks on during the
So
final
next
segment.
time you won't do that again next time?
No, it won't. Don't worry. You're fine. We're almost done. We actually have 2 more scores still before we go. The
Okay.
LA Clippers 119-94 winners tonight over the Toronto Raptors. The Clippers now a game above 500, 37-36. The Raptors dropped to 40-32. Darius Garland seems like he's finally healthy and he's delivering 24.6 assists on the win tonight. Scotty Barnes just 9 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. That was the top performer for the Raptors. So the Clippers.
I feel like I've been rambling tonight.
No. You're fine. One last score, Shardall. This was probably the biggest win for the Atlanta Hawks since they got Jonathan Kuminga. They win tonight in Detroit. Detroit, what? I love Detroit pizza, by the way. Detroit style pizza. Do you like Detroit style pizza with those crispy crusts?
I've never
like
tried
New York
Detroit.
style.
I've never tried Detroit style pizza before.
Well, the ghetto version of Detroit style pizza is Little Caesars. You've had Little Caesars pizza, right?
I've tried Little Caesars pizza before.
That's like the absolute. And I'm not trying to hate on Little Caesars. I mean, I'll eat it, but Detroit style pizza is usually much tastier than a Little Caesars. But Little Caesars technically is Detroit style. Anyways, the Hawks winners tonight in Detroit, 130-129. This game went to overtime. The Hawks improving to 41-32. The Pistons dropping to 52-30. Jalen Johnson back in the lineup, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists in the win. Jalen Duren, 26 points, 14 rebounds in the loss. And for anyone curious how Kuminga did tonight, still on a minute restriction with the knee, 20 minutes of play, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist along with a steal. And most importantly, the Hawks winners. That was a good game for him. Let's check out the standings real fast. Shardall, again, don't worry, bud. We will not bring people on regularly during your segment. I know this is your spot. By the way, who was hosting on 95.7 The Game tonight?
It was Dan Devone.
Did you call in?
I called in.
Dan's my boy. Was he cool to you?
He was cool to me.
Okay, good. If you call in again and Dan's hosting, tell him I say what's up, will you?
I'll say what's up. How do you know Dan Devone?
He used to bring me on 95.7 The Game as a guest, and then and I loved it. It used to be almost like a weekly thing.
What do you like about him?
He's kind. Keeps it real. Do you not like him?
I like Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings.
I know. He's a fill-in guy. He's just a fill-in guy. He's if they need somebody, he's there.
But like when Mark Grandy, I call into Warriors Rapper when Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings are on. I feel like I'm more personal at a more personal level with them. Like a friendly, like brotherly, like when you have like a brotherly connection. I feel like I have that with Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings because they're like my age.
What were the sentiments on 95.7 The Game? Like, how were they treating tonight's win? Were they in a celebratory mood? Like, were they like me going, like they just ruined?
They were not in a celebratory mood.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to hear. It's great
because
to hear.
when I watched on the Warriors postgame show on NBC, Sportsberry, they said it was an ugly win.
It was a very ugly win. They trailed. I love that ESPN tracks that 66% of the time of tonight's game, the Brooklyn Nets were in the lead. And before we go, the standings. Let's take a look at what's going on. And
Cyrus, do you like my logo?
Love it.
49ers.
How was opening day for you, man?
The Giants lost on opening day. First game of the season, 7-0. They got beat. They got clobbered by New York.
They're not supposed to be good though, right? Or are they?
The Yankees are supposed to be good.
Not the Yankees, the Giants.
The Giants are. It's only their first game. There's 161 games left.
I know that. But what I'm asking is like the prognosticators, the folks who make big bucks to predict things. They're not.
The Giants are not. The Giants are not supposed to be good.
Okay, that's what I thought. So in other words, this was not a huge surprise.
This was not a huge surprise for the Giants.
All right, but big picture, hopefully Buster Posey is on the right track. No?
Buster Posey's on the right track.
Not your cat, the GM of the San Francisco.
I love what Buster Posey's doing, and he's turning this team in the right direction.
Here is if you're watching this on YouTube, here is the current brackets. If the season ended today, if you're listening on the podcast, I will articulate.
So the way this works is that the Warriors are the 10th seed, and then the Blazers are the 9th seed, Clippers are the 8th seed, and then Suns are the 7th seed. So if the Warriors beat the Blazers, they have to play the loser of the Suns and the Clippers.
Do you agree with Money Checkup, who says the new Giants manager, who was a college
I don't agree with that. The new manager is not over his head.
Do you agree with Mr. Silax, who says the Giants will only win 65 games?
The Giants will win 80 games.
Money Checkup says they're going to win 80. Their ceiling is 85 wins. Agree or disagree?
I agree. The Giants are going to win 85 games.
Okay, so that's the most they can win this year.
That's the most games they can win.
You can get into the playoffs with 85, right?
You can get in the playoffs with 85 wins.
Yeah, but you can do it? Okay. Niners Minded is disagree with you, Chardal. He says there's 162 games left. You're saying
that's wrong. They played one game today. There's 161 games left.
Makes sense.
So why is he saying 162?
He was wrong. You were right.
Yeah, there's 161 games left.
Tony, is this the new Giants manager's nickname? Tony.
That's the nickname for the new manager. Tony the Tornado.
What the? Why the Tornado?
That's his nickname.
Do you know what it came from?
I don't know. Where
either.
it came from.
It's a weird nickname.
So if the Hornets beat the Magic, then they have to play the loser of Sixers and Heat.
Let me. So in the Eastern Conference.
So if the Hornets beat the Magic, the Hornets have to play the loser of Sixers and Heat. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Just to summarize, in the
so
East,
I know what I'm. So now I understand how the play-in works.
Like it just clicked for you?
It clicked for me automatically.
Why did it take so long? Was I not?
I don't know why.
Okay.
No.
Well,
it didn't take
I'm
so
glad.
long.
So now Chardal now gets the play-in, and in the East, just to give folks an update, if the season ended today, the 9 seed Hornets would play. I can't believe Orlando is down to 10. They'd play the 10th seed Orlando Magic. The winner of that game would play the loser between the 7 seed Sixers and the 8 seed Miami Heat. The winner of that game would be the 7 seed. The loser of that game would play the winner of Hornets Magic for the 8 seed. I am shocked that the Atlanta Hawks are now 5th in the Eastern Conference. That's cray-cray. Over in the West, if the season ended today, the Warriors would be playing at the Portland Trailblazers. And then the Suns would host the LA Clippers. The winner of Portland Golden State would play the loser of Phoenix Clippers for the 8th seed. The winner of that Suns Clippers game would be the 7th seed. And if the season ended today, the Nuggets would host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who would you predict would win that series, Chardal?
I'm going with the Denver Nuggets winning that series. I got them winning that series in 6 games.
Me too. And if Anthony Edwards comes back, that's a hell of a first round series. And the other one's not so shabby either. If the season ended today, you'd have the Lakers playing the Rockets. Well, what's your prediction for that one?
I'm going with the Lakers winning that series in 5 games.
I'm with you. I like your predictions today. Meanwhile, who do you think wins between the Suns and the Clippers? 1 game.
The Clippers.
Okay, so then if that happened, the Clippers would play the Spurs in the first round. Who wins that series?
Clippers over Spurs in 7 games.
That's okay. That's a bold prediction there, bud. And then who would win between the Blazers and the Warriors in Portland?
Warriors.
Upset. Who would win between the Suns and the Warriors in that second game? In Phoenix.
Suns over Warriors.
Suns over Warriors? Okay, so that means the Suns would be the 8 seed. They would play the 1 seed Thunder. And then over in the East, if the season ended today, the Knicks would host the Raptors. The Cavaliers would host the Hawks. That's incredible. Detroit is the top seed. Boston, the 2 seed. And that's your playoff breakdown.
So I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks winning over the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games, and I'm going with the Knicks winning over the Raptors in 7 games.
All right, I like it. The playoffs should be fun. We're going to be active all postseason, regardless of how far the Warriors get. In Dream saying the Rockets are terrible. I agree.
I'm going to go with the Warriors winning over OKC 6 games.
Shardal, in Dreams in our chat, because before we go, you usually like to make predictions for the Warriors' next game. The Warriors host the Wizards Friday night. In Dreams is predicting that you're going to predict the Warriors beating the Wizards 150-100. Is that correct? And if not, what is the prediction?
The Golden State Warriors are going to take down the Washington Wizards by a final score of 150-100.
So In Dreams got it right.
He got it right.
Oh, do I have a winner? No, not that. In Dreams, hopefully someday I'll have prizes. Shut up on it. Someday I'll have prizes to give to you. We don't have that for now, but good prediction. Money checkups, like incredible. I know, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Shirtle, how did In Dreams to the T?
I don't know how In Dreams got the prediction correct.
That is some crazy shit. How is Buster Posey, your cat, doing?
Buster Posey, my cat, is doing very well.
Is the Giants and the Yankees, is that a 3-game set?
They play on the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th.
Why not the 26th?
They don't play on the 26th. They're off on the 26th.
Why? Do you know?
I don't know why.
Is that not weird to you that to have a 3-game baseball series with one off day in the middle?
That's weird to me.
It must be like an opening day thing, huh?
That's an opening day thing.
Okay. How are the A's going to do this year?
A's are awful.
Are they called the Sacramento A's right now? What do they call them?
They're the Sacramento A's.
That's embarrassing.
F John Fisher.
F John Fisher. Fuck John Fisher. I'll happily say, hey, John Fisher, direct message for you. See, from Charlie Day.
Fuck you.
And here's a polite way, John Fisher.
Oh, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
Even my best friend used to be an usher for the Oakland Athletics. He left being an usher for the A's. Now he's a Rangers fan.
Uh-oh. I almost forgot the Rangers even exist as a...
He's a Texas Rangers fan.
Shardal, have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
I watch a movie Step Brothers.
So this clip is what always reminds me of Brandon Pajemski.
You're a big, fat, curly-headed f***.
All right. We're back Friday? Yeah, Friday. Happy hour. I haven't gotten the confirmation yet. I haven't communicated with the professor who, again, comes in the show super late with a very subtle...
So if Armando Laura can join you for happy hour, can I join you for happy hour?
Oh, yeah, of course. Look, it depends on the schedule.
If Armando Laura is not able to come, can I fill in for him?
100% yes.
Can I fill in for him?
I can't promise anything.
I'm saying that if Armando Laura is unable to come, something happens, can I fill in for the professor?
Yes. 1,000% yes.
If he can make it. I would love to come on for a Friday happy hour with you.
Shardal, I know you love baseball. I don't know what your thoughts are on what In Dreams is saying here. In Dreams is a theory that Joe Lacob wants to buy the San Diego Padres and move them to the Bay Area.
Joe Lacob is making this up.
Okay, so you don't agree with this?
I don't agree with it. He's making it up.
Okay.
He's bullshitting.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I can't see the Padres leaving
So viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring the notification bell for Golden Days in reference to the 1993 Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused, and also subscribe to the SGS Sports Talk channel. I'm at 536 subscribers, 64
Beautiful.
subs away from 600.
How many away from 600?
64. I'm at 536.
Chef's kiss, Chardol. What do you have coming up on your channel?
I'm gonna be doing the I'm gonna be doing the San Francisco Giants versus New York Yankees opening day live stream on the 27th.
I thought today was opening day.
No, today there's 2 opening days.
You mean in each stadium?
Yeah, to on the 27th. That's the traditional opening day.
What was today?
Today was opening day, but today was not like the you know they have like the festivities and the pregame stuff that happened before the game. They're saving that for the traditional opening day.
Okay, so today was like a game. Where was the game today?
Oracle Park, San Francisco.
Okay, so you're saying Friday's game will be at Yankee Stadium?
Friday, Steph. No, Friday. No. So the 25th they play at Oracle.
Okay.
27th they play at Oracle. 28th they play at Oracle.
All right, Chardol, you're fantastic as always.
So I'll see you for Friday happy hour with the Professor Armando Laura, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Washington Wizards and Golden State Warriors post game show. It's always great. It's always great that you make me the closer. Next time, are you not going to bring anybody else on?
You said you said Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. You mean Friday?
Friday, March. I'll see you on happy hour on Friday, and then I'll see you for the Warriors and Wizards post game show.
Beautiful. Love everybody.
I'll see you. Are you not gonna bring anybody else on when it's during my segment?
That will not be a regular thing, I promise.
Okay, so it'll be normal for next, because
Yes,
I think the show went really good, but I want next time.
Do you really have a poster of Stephen Curry on the ceiling above your bed?
I'm bullshitting. I don't have it.
Okay.
So next time it'll just be you and I, because I want my parents to watch the show.
Right, bye, everybody.
I want my parents.